What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the tagline tonight. We are opening the show a little bit different because we don't want to just blast you with our music right off the bat. Tonight we are doing a very special tagline. We are doing this as a charity stream, a donation stream, if you will. Everything that we make through Streamlabs tonight, and only Streamlabs, do not use Super Chats. Everything we make through Streamlabs is going to go to the GoFundMe in Breonna Taylor's name. If you are not aware of who Breonna Taylor is, I'll give you the quick rundown. She was an EMT worker who was in the middle of the night sleeping in bed. She was with her boyfriend, and three men entered their apartment, kicked down the door. These three men were cops. They were not dressed in their normal uniform. They were undercover. They were in just regular everyday clothes. They had a no-knock warrant to enter their apartment because they were searching for essentially drugs. They believed that the individuals whose apartments they were entering had a stash of drugs, and they were coming to basically come get them.
And they already had them captured, by the way.
And the thing is at the time of this, they already did have the individual they were looking for captured. The message, I guess, was not relayed. What happened, though, was that Breonna Taylor's boyfriend heard men busting into the apartment, grabbed his gun to go defend, as he legally and rightfully should if somebody's coming into your apartment, and not knowing that these were cops, held the gun up, and the cops started firing.
He got a shot off.
Cops returned. The cops started firing. They unloaded about 22 rounds, 8 of which hit Breonna, killing her instantly. She was 26 years old. She should not have died. Mm-mm. And this is just one more senseless death that's been added to countless others that have happened in our country for a very long time, both through the police as well as other issues that have been built up in light of systemic racism that's been in our country for just forever. I mean, honestly, since slavery. So what we're doing tonight, in light of what you've seen happen and go down in this country over the last week and a half or so since the death and murder of George Floyd, basically the straw that broke the camel's back here. Right now there's an uprising in this country saying enough is enough, and a lot of people have lent their voices. A lot of people have used their platforms to speak out on these issues. Tonight we are doing so as well. The reason why we chose the GoFundMe for Breonna Taylor is because the three men who came into their apartment and killed her are still not captured. They are still not arrested. They still have not been charged at all. And that's not right. That's not justice. And so we wanted to take this opportunity on our platform, on our show here tonight, to bring light to that, as well as say, hey, we're going to be a part of this. We're going to be a part of seeking out justice by doing what we can to raise money, give some money to her family who is now hurting because they're without their daughter, their sister, she shouldn't have died. She shouldn't have died.
Yeah.
She would have just had her birthday a few days ago too. She would have been 27 years old now. So we wanted to, that's the thing. We just wanted to use this time tonight to address the Black Lives Matter movement that is spreading very quickly and rapidly across this country now. And it's good. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time for this stuff to end. I mean, we're already seeing a week and a half peaceful protests and whatnot have already been making huge changes throughout this country. And it's been a beautiful thing to see. It's been an amazing thing to see. It's time.
Yep.
So tonight we are donating all Streamlabs. Please use Streamlabs if you're already tuned in, you're already watching. We'll address this a few times over the course of the night. Please donate to all Streamlabs. I believe that is something that's actually open too. You don't have to do it right now in this stream. You can do it after the stream. Pretty much anything we get in Streamlabs this week, because we're going to be doing this for the show tonight, as well as when we do live streams for our Schmoedown Star Wars tournament reaction on Wednesday, or tomorrow night. I should say. So all Streamlabs this week are going to be donated to this cause.
So don't do it through Super Chat, because when you do it through Super Chat, YouTube takes 33%.
And that ain't right.
And well, that's fine for YouTube normally, but when you're
Typically,
doing
yeah.
a donation, essentially the idea now behind it is that YouTube is trying to profit off of your donations. Let's not do that. Let's do the Streamlabs. I know Streamlabs takes a little bit as well. Streamlabs does take a little bit of money, but nowhere. It's like 1 or 2%.
And it's a small amount that we can cover ourselves. It's fine.
Eventually at some point these companies weren't made to be funds for donations, so they have to take from somewhere. Do Streamlabs, send it through Streamlabs. We will be watching throughout the course of this. Send in questions with it if you like. If you want to ask us questions, hey, what's your favorite black actor, black actress? What's your favorite black movie? Feel free to send in those questions. We're not going to answer them right now. We want to see you donate money to this cause, and then we'll answer it. See how that works?
That's how we work here. We'll be doing a lot more questions towards the end of the show also. So
Yeah. In the meantime, we got a lot to catch up on.
We got a lot to catch up on. We obviously weren't here last week because there was the Blackout
Tuesday.
And it fell on a Tuesday, which is when we normally stream. So in honor of that, we did not do a stream last week. A lot of things were just kind of shut down last week, just in honor of all the people who were out protesting, donating.
And it's
everything.
again, I don't want to talk too much into like. Yes, there's a lot of like, what do you call it? Civil unrest. I don't know if that's the correct term.
Somewhat.
There's a lot of changes that are going on. I don't want to be harping on these too much, and harping might be the wrong word as well.
Yeah, why are you talking right now?
I'm not good at words, so
stop talking.
But one thing I like, I feel like that personally connected wise, the week before last week when we did Blackout Tuesday, we did the StreamYard with Sean Chandler on here. That was the Tuesday. The day before was Memorial Day. That was the day of George Floyd when that happened. And then by Tuesday night, the video was released on the internet and was just starting to go viral. You haven't watched it.
Here's the thing. I do not want to watch. I'll explain real briefly. I don't mind watching death in movies because it's fictional.
Yeah.
And to a certain degree, I don't like super graphic stuff. But I don't mind, I'm watching a comic book movie. There's death that happens in it. Cool. Fine. I cannot bring myself to watch
someone dies in a comic book movie.
Can you not make a joke while I'm talking here?
Sorry.
I cannot bring myself to watch somebody lose their life in real life.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
That's hard to watch.
It's very difficult to watch. I take the stance of, I understand. He shouldn't have lost his life. He was murdered on video.
So I did see this video right before, and this was a bad idea for me, but
yeah,
right before we did the stream with Sean Chandler, and I saw like red hot like anger waves, and then had to quickly like immediately cool down for the stream. So
it's first of all, it's rough to watch something that heavy before you have to put on a camera personality.
Yeah.
Secondly, when you're staring somebody right in the face who's on camera who just doesn't care that they're on camera and they're killing somebody, dude, come on, no, seriously.
Yeah.
But so we're just making it clear we are fully in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. I saw this image. Somebody was actually holding up a sign that says "Matter is just the minimum. Black lives are worthy. Black lives are
I saw
beloved.
that today.
Black lives are needed." Fully behind that. That is absolutely true. There is so many fantastic, wonderful voices in the black community that are absolutely necessary. I mean, think of how much music we got from the black community. Like that is huge. Like a lot of people in that community define art as it is today. So to say that they don't matter, no, 100%, 100% matter, 100% needed.
Actors, actresses, directors,
and we're just talking about in the sphere of interest that we have with movies and art. So,
we're not even like touching upon people who have actually contributed to the progress of America.
Inventors, civil rights movement.
That's a long list.
There's so much. So yeah, that's the stance here at Cinefanatics. If for some reason you're not behind that stance, you don't have to watch our videos.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest about that, because this is not a political movement. This is life and death.
This is a human movement.
This is human. This is life and death. So if you're not behind it,
yeah. Anyways, moving on to movies.
Yeah.
So let me check out my show notes here. Greetings. Oh, hi.
Hello.
We are the Cinefanatics. We're here to talk about movies.
My name's Chris Adams.
I'm Robert Adams.
Do we usually do that?
I guess. I don't know. This is the.
It's been a while.
No, it's not. It's like the third time we've introduced ourselves in the past 24 hours. Okay, so we did the Schmoedown last night.
It's been a while for this setup.
Yeah, we did the Schmoedown last night. We just got done and quickly got up our reaction to Bill and Ted. So
yeah.
So there's a lot of introducing ourselves.
Sari's here. Hi, Sari.
Hello, Sari. So also, we have a Patreon. Feel free to jump on the Patreon. I don't want to harp about that one too much tonight, just because I really want, if you have money to give, send it to the donations. Send it to the Streamlab.
The Patreon's still going to be there after this week. Wait, if you want to do Patreon, wait next week. This week we're doing money. We're giving money towards Breonna Taylor's GoFundMe.
So I mean, other than what's currently going on in the news, how have you been like the past 2 weeks? Anything you want to talk about?
Look, between everything going on in the news, counting all the virus stuff that, believe it or not, is still happening.
Oh, the virus is still going on.
It's still out there.
Yeah.
This has been a time for mental health awareness for everybody all the way around.
I saw someone say that it's going to be absolutely amazing when the future generations are going to school and in their history class when they realize that there's an entire chapter of their history book dedicated to 2020.
I think that's wrong. I think it's going to be an entire
textbook.
At least an entire semester's class is going to be dedicated. Oh, you go through the state history, you got U.S. history, you got government economics, and you got the year that was 2020. That is its own class.
Here's the thing, though. I know we're halfway through the year right now. It is.
Oh boy.
It is. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It is possible that there's going to be some kind of college or study or something's going to be created by a lot of people where they're just going to sit down and analyze 2020 as a whole.
Yeah.
And it's gonna.
And
that's actually gonna be some kind of interesting reading I might want to check out later.
We haven't even hit the second half of the year yet.
No.
We're just getting into that, and hurricane season's starting. So how am I doing? I'm doing dandy. Doing just great.
Luckily, we can say dandy on this channel.
Okay. Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm all right, given again the circumstances.
You're doing diddly.
I'm doing diddly. Just a lot of work and a lot of just constant reading and I've actually spent my time just reading over the news, seeing what people had to say. I'm not much one for voicing my opinion, especially on social media. Those who
you're just not one to use social media.
Well, that too. Those who know me personally have heard my thoughts, feelings, and opinions of what's going on in the world. I'm just not open to doing it on social media yet. As we grow,
as you get used to using social media,
I might end up using that platform as a way of expressing opinions.
Yep.
It's just not my go-to right now.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot. I'm trying.
You've been breaking out of your shell.
Yeah. Well, mostly because first of all, again, current events, I don't believe they're political, and if you're politicizing it, you're doing it wrong. Up until the point where I know some people, for some people it does reach all the way up to presidency and all of that, and the politics of that aside.
Ooh, let's not jump into that one.
Yeah, politics of that aside, it is firmly and foundationally a human rights issue that's happening right now. So I have been doing my best to. I try my best to be positive on social media because I know that a lot of what is being spread out there's a lot of negativity, and rightfully so. A lot of this stuff needs to be brought to light. If you don't shine a light on something, you don't know it's there. So a lot of this negativity, a lot of the police brutality and all that stuff, it is being shared all over the place. I'm doing my best to try to hopefully use my social media as a place where people can run to and escape to see some positive stuff. Whenever I find a positive story, I like to retweet it. I like to share it on Facebook so that you can see the positives that's happening right now throughout the movement. Like I just shared that entire list recently of all the great, fantastic stuff that these peaceful protests globally. It's happening globally, which is crazy. It's insane. It's not just America. It's happening all over the world. These protests, like George Floyd's name is being painted up on the Berlin Wall, or what's left of the Berlin Wall. Like, that's insane. That's awesome. So I like sharing that stuff because it's positive and it moves people positively.
So some of the stuff that I like that's come out of this is how it is affecting the entertainment industry. Seeing like actors, celebrities, actresses, they're all like starting to like. Did you see John Boyega? John
Boyega was getting it.
Oh man, ooh, he was on fire.
Oh man, I like him.
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
And what I like, not only an actor's like stepping up and talking about that, but if you saw the response that like his co-actors, especially like his his co-stars from like say Star Wars, have all said, "Hey, speak your mind, speak your piece. Your job will be safe. You will still be able to continue.
Oh, for sure.
Please do not fear."
Directors are like, you've got a job with us.
Please do not fear that just because you speak your mind, you're going to lose your job.
Right. And I want to be very clear about that. I'm watching every John Boyega movie in the theater from now on.
Oh, probably.
Every single one.
Unless it's a horror movie.
Unless it's a horror movie, and then I will tell you to go see it twice.
That's fair. So entertainment wise, this has led to a couple of interesting things that have happened.
Yeah.
As of the beginning of this month, the movies Just Mercy and Selma have become available pretty much on all streaming platforms: Amazon, YouTube, Apple, anywhere you enjoy movies.
Which I know the direction this conversation can go in. Those are on my list to see stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to check out both those. I was thinking about doing a double feature, but you told me to maybe do one night and one the next night.
Yeah, put some break in between them.
Yeah.
So both of those are available for free to watch. I highly urge people to watch those movies. I have since they became free. And here's the thing. I hadn't watched the movies before, and I'll be honest, they weren't on the top of my list of movies I need to watch at some point. They weren't high up there. I was still wanting, I primarily wanted to play catch up.
Yeah.
And I'll go through my list here in a minute. You'll see movies I still was catching up on some
There's
stuff.
a lot of classics and stuff that you're trying to catch up on still.
Exactly. But I felt like those, especially right now is the time to watch those movies. I don't think like Just Mercy came out back in December. This whole movement's been happening for a while.
Years.
Yes. But now it's really hitting that forefront again.
It's pivotal that we be educated.
Yeah, and you're watching this movie now, knowing what's going on in the world. I think it hits just that much harder.
Right.
And that's definitely that's what I would highly recommend right now. Watch those movies.
Well, not to make too light of anything. I know this was brought up on other people's streams and stuff, but. Because of HBO Max, you have access to all of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Because I loved the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air back in the day, I'm like, I want to relive this. I want to rewatch every episode again. 6th episode into the series is the episode where Carlton is driving Henry Firth, which is Uncle Phil's law partner. Yeah. He's driving his BMW. His nice fancy car.
It's like a Mercedes or something.
Yeah, Mercedes, something like that. He's driving his nice fancy car into, I believe they're going to Malibu or something like that. And Will jumps in, so it's the two of them driving the car, and they get pulled over. The whole story basically being that they're being unjustly pulled over and arrested because obviously they didn't steal the car; they were doing a favor. That. I knew it was coming up. I knew that episode was coming up because I've obviously seen that episode time and time again. But just in light of everything that's happening right now, that episode hits home in a new way. Yeah. So even the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is like, especially because there's several episodes of that series that it's nonstop. They tackle issues of racism and systemic racism throughout the entire series. Like this stuff's been going on for a while.
That show hit hard. Period. That show was. You can't mention hard-hitting episodes of that show without the dad episode.
Why does he not love me, man?
That dad episode.
Why does he not want me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Real quick, I love that episode because that entire scene was basically improvised.
Yeah, and what I love real quick was the behind the scenes. If you hear the behind the scenes of it, and that my favorite thing of hearing this, and I'm gonna edit myself because you know what part I'm probably about to quote. There's a part where Will is crying. He basically buries his head into Uncle Phil, James Avery's shoulder.
Yeah.
In embracing him. And behind the scenes, what you don't hear is James Avery is right there next to Will Smith's ear, and he's like, "Yeah, that's acting." Like I was like, "That is amazing."
That's what James Avery was saying.
James Avery's like, "Oh yeah, you just did it. You hit the effing nail on the head," type of thing.
For real.
And yeah, that show is good. It makes, again, to your point, really good, hard hitting.
Tyler just brought it up. Same with Family Matters. You were talking about that one this week also.
Yeah, I think I was talking about that last night or something. There was an episode of Family Matters where Eddie gets pulled over, basically because he's black. And then the nice thing with that show is that Eddie's father, Carl, is a cop.
Yeah.
And he confronts the two white cops at a diner who pulled over Eddie.
I do think I've seen this episode.
Oh, it's really good.
Now that I remember it.
Well, the thing is it took a weird position. Man, we're going off on a tangent on TV shows. We're cinefanatics. We like movies, but it takes a position where at first Carl's telling Eddie, like, well, you messed up. You're a teenager. You don't know what you're doing. And Eddie goes into this whole thing. He's like, I thought getting pulled over tonight by these white cops was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. But not having my own dad believe me beat that. This is the worst feeling I've ever had. And then Carl researches it, confronts the cops, and like of the two cops, one's a rookie, one's a veteran, and the veteran's just complete like dirtbag, scumbag,
obstinate the entire time.
Yeah, the whole time. And so he walks out of the diner, and Carl has a quick word with the rookie, going, "Yeah, you need to get a new partner because your partner's one of the bad guys." I was like, "Oh, such a good episode."
Yeah.
Family Matters the same thing. I don't know the details of it, but I remember there was an episode involving the kids with like Laura and Urkel. And at one point, I guess racism was really key on this at school at this given moment, and someone wrote the N-word on Laura's locker. And I remember they showing that they showed it, and as a kid, I'm watching this. I'm like,
can they put that on TV?
Yeah. First of all, I'm like, can they put that on TV? But at the same time, like understanding. By then, I had an understanding of what that meant and how that could affect people. And I was like, wow, that's powerful. And even back then, as a kid, I understood that.
Yeah.
So anyways, out of TV talk.
So just a reminder, guys, tonight we are doing a fundraiser. Any money we make through Streamlabs only. Please do not use Super Chats. Any money we make through Streamlabs, actually even this week, because we're going to do this tonight and we're going to do this on Wednesday again for our Star Wars Schmoedown doubleheader live stream. We're going to be doing both of these as fundraisers. All that's going to be going to the GoFundMe in Breonna Taylor's name. So if you give anything, please understand it's going to that GoFundMe. Please give through Streamlabs.
So like I typically do, like going through like what movies have you caught up on this week?
I caught up on a few.
So I just mentioned mine. Of course, Selma and Just Mercy I caught up on since the last time we streamed.
Yep.
A couple others, going back again, catching up on classics. West Side Story, which that one's a weird one to watch right now too.
Sure.
Yeah.
I need to catch up on it also.
Yeah, it's basically a gang of white guys versus a gang of Puerto Ricans. But yeah, music's fantastic. That movie is being redone by Spielberg. That's supposed to be coming out in December. I don't know if that's still holding true, but that might be interesting.
We'll see.
Also watched the Phantom of the Opera from 2004.
Which there's people who
Joel
don't.
Schumacher.
Some people don't like that. I don't understand. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it.
I understand. I've seen the stage production of it, and I can understand why some people may not have liked it. Mm-hmm. There's definitely some tweaks, and if you're, I would say if you're a diehard fan of the actual stage performance, there's one major tweak that they made to that movie that I don't like. So it was a good movie. The music was good. The singing was fantastic, especially by Gerard Butler, who I had no idea could sing.
He's not a Russell Crowe.
Yeah, but I mean, going back, I read like some trivia about it and how everyone in that movie pretty much had some singing background except Gerard Butler, who the second he was hired was instantly thrown to a vocal coach. So, and then the other one I caught up on this week was What About Bob?
What about Bob?
It was a good movie.
Bob's good.
Bob was good.
Bob was good.
Yeah,
Bob was
good classic Bill Murray movie. So. Highly recommend it.
Every Bill Murray movie is a classic.
Almost every Bill Murray, yeah. Especially in that time.
Including Space Jam.
Yeah.
Even though he was in that movie for a total of maybe 2 minutes of screen time. But
what did you catch up on?
I caught up on 3 movies. If you paid attention to my Twitter, you would know which 3 movies those are. Hop on my Twitter, guys. It's Chris Adams MLP.
It's also...
Yeah.
Well, this one's mine.
It's
Yours is...
It's right down here. It's right down here. Anyway, I caught up on 3 movies I've been wanting to see, actually, and just have never made the time for. It was Prisoners, which is Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman, Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard, that's his name. That's right.
Yeah. You couldn't remember Terrence Howard's name when the question was being asked in the Schmoedown.
I know Terrence Howard couldn't pull his name during the Schmoedown
Not
reaction.
Don Cheadle. That's the other War Machine.
It's not Don Cheadle.
It's not Don. So... That movie was... I didn't realize how heavy of a movie that was when I was getting into it. Ooh. It's one about kids being kidnapped, so that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, definitely... It's a heavy one, but I definitely recommend seeing it. Make sure that you're not already in a bad mood before you watch that, because you'll be in a worse mood once you've seen it. Other one, The Town, with Ben Affleck.
That's a good one.
It was a pretty good movie. I liked many aspects about it. Yeah, it was just, for me, it was just a basic good movie.
It was a good like bank robbery type of movie, but with like the little twist of the fact that he ends up falling in love with one of the women that worked at the bank.
The hostage, yeah.
Yeah, the hostage. And that's very interesting because that leads to some like awesome dynamics of like, well, how do you hide this from everyone else? And
at some point,
how do you hide everyone else from her?
At some point, she's going to have to know that you were the one who traumatized her. So how are you going to explain that one away? Yeah, it was a very interesting, very different kind of story. And then the last one I watched was Midnight Special, which that was a very different movie.
Now I got the song stuck in my head. Let the Midnight Special.
I don't know what that is.
Shine. Watch the beginning of Twilight Zone, the movie.
Right. So Midnight Special, starring Michael Shannon and Joel Edgerton.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really interesting one. And also the kid who played Bill in It.
Bill Skarsgård.
No. The kid who played Bill.
The kid who played Bill.
Not Bill Skarsgård, the kid who played Bill.
Oh, man. And that's going to be weird because he changed his name,
his name's like Jaden...
It was like Jaden Lieberer or something. I think it's changed to like Jaden Martell now.
Something like that. So he played the kid in this movie. His kid has superpowers, and his dad is basically trying to keep him out of the hands of the government, essentially, and take him somewhere. He's taking him somewhere. You got to watch the movie to find out where. But... That movie,
they're gonna have a crossover with Brightburn.
Oh, I mean, it almost could. It's not. Brightburn's definitely a harder R.
Yeah.
When I say that, I mean Brightburn's R. This one's PG-13. So, this movie though, it is slowly paced, up until it gets towards the end. As it gets towards the end, beautiful. There's some amazing visuals that happen towards the end of the movie. You got those visuals alone, I think, are worth the price of admission. I think they did a fantastic job with where they went with that film. So, highly recommend all 3. Definitely, like, bad mood, don't watch Prisoners. Watch maybe one of the other 2. Good mood, watch anything. But anyway, those are 3 movies I caught up on. Definitely got some others I want to catch up on this next week. I might try at least Just Mercy or Selma, one of the 2, if not both.
Well, highly recommend it. Real quick, jumping into the chat, we've got Alex Shashek and Mr. Paul Denuzio, PLD. What is up, y'all?
It's PLD.
Yeah. Again, want to mention this is a charity stream. Please send in donations through Streamlabs. Don't do it through Super Chat because YouTube takes a cut and we don't need YouTube profiting off of donations.
Yep.
Send in Streamlab donations. Feel free to send in with like a question too. We're open to like any kind of questions, like favorite black actor, favorite black actress, favorite black movie. I mean, all of these we would like to talk about it, but you gotta send in some money and ask the questions. You'll never know the answer if you don't ask the question and attach some money to it.
And also, we'll never send money if there's no money to send.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to send money when there's no money to send.
So,
despite what Western Union may tell you.
Ooh, that's an interesting way to go with that.
So please send in Streamlab donations. All donations go to was it Justice for Breonna Taylor's?
It's her
GoFundMe.
The GoFundMe in her name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard. I think it's the same one that Ben Goddard did his Twitch stream on.
It is.
Yeah, that was impressive because you were on there for a little bit. You had to end up going to bed once they hit the first goal that he was aiming for.
Yeah, I think once they hit 69, 69, 69, which I don't know why they picked that number. Whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. So what number am I thinking? 69, dudes. Yeah. Okay, we'll get into Bill and Ted here in a little bit too. But yeah, once they hit that number, I was like, all right, got to go to bed. Yeah, that's awesome.
You went to bed. I pretty much stayed up till the stream was over. I was really tired the next day, but man, it was awesome to see because it got to the point where he hit that number. He was speechless when they hit 5,000 because somebody donated 1,000 like right off the bat, and that was awesome because he was like, I don't even know what to say. It just kept growing from there, though. I mean, when he got to 8,000, and then someone, same person I think before, dropped like another 2,000 and got them to 10,000, and it's like, dude, what's happening? This is insane. This is crazy. This is awesome. And then the final number was like 11,001 something. So.
Well, what was funny about that is he kept offering up like, hey, if you drop like $100 or $200, I'll drink this whole drink type of thing. And he had been doing this for like 12 hours, and everyone was like, you know what? I want to see you drink a drink, so I'll drop some money to see you drink. If y'all would like to donate to Breonna Taylor in our live stream, I will drink some more. I don't know how to do those. Just ask questions. I mean,
you don't have enough alcohol for that.
And I got some good stuff too.
We aren't properly set up to do a stream like that.
Maybe by tomorrow.
Maybe, I don't know.
That'll add some fun to like trying to answer Star Wars questions.
Right.
Who's the person that's flying next to Lando Calrissian in Return of the Jedi? There, Nub. You're gonna sound like Nien Nub at that point. Blah 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 blah, or however he sounds when he talks.
Not gonna touch that one. Anyway, so movie news. There's a lot of that. Oddly, we're actually finally getting back into movie news because. Actually, let's get this one first. Tenet. The reason we're probably getting back into movie news is because we're probably actually getting movies again soon. Maybe. Big if.
So Christopher Nolan released another trailer for Tenet, which this is the first mainstream movie. We've gotten movie trailers to stuff that has gone straight to like Netflix or whatever. Yeah, this is the first mainstream movie trailer we've gotten in months. And that's awesome because that shows that like this is possibly slightly starting to turn, and that at least Warner Brothers, Christopher Nolan, Syncope, all of those people are pretty positive that this movie's still going to happen, but they didn't say a date. All they said was coming to theater, which is pretty much just putting the stamp on it. We're not going to VOD.
Yeah, all the social media still has July 17th on it. But the actual trailer itself, it said coming to theater. It didn't say still July 17th. So it's up in the air right now. Are they actually going to make that day? I think, honestly, the world of movies, everybody who's interested in movies and anything coming out, all their eyes are on Tenet right now. Are they going to hit that date? Are they going to release it July 17th? Because the other kicker is, are theaters going to be open for it? Now, that's an interesting conversation because there's some theater chains out there that are saying, yes, we are planning on having our theaters open. If not within the next week or two from now, they will be open by that date.
I think California is actually opening on the 12th. So in a few days. Yeah,
so California is ready to open theaters on the 12th. That means the big city of Los Angeles, one of the two major cities, 3 if you count Chicago, one of the major cities of this country that is absolutely necessary for for new movies to be released is going to be opening here in the next few days to a week. That's a good sign for Tenet. The other kicker is New York going to be open? Because New York right now is entering phase 1 of their reopening phases.
Which New York was almost like the epicenter of this.
New York was the epicenter for the United States for a while there.
Because if you remember, that was back. That happened like right around South by, because Video Drew
shortly after
Drew Grant from Schmoedown was supposed to come to Austin. She was going to hang, possibly crash with us. For Schmoedown, and that instead, the day that she was supposed to fly to Austin,
she hightailed it back to LA.
Got, like some secret info, like stock information on the down low, that New York was about to lock down, and she hightailed it straight to LA. And the next day, New York locked down.
To some degree, I mean, I don't know necessarily if she. I mean, she probably got some information from somewhere, but at the same time, it's like, if you really think about it, global pandemic, New York is pretty much the gate to the United States. Most people who come to the United States come through New York. That's the way it's pretty much always been. New York itself, New York City, Manhattan, really highly densely populated. So it's going to hit hard there. So the fact that they are now moving into phase 1 of reopening, I'm hoping is good news. I mean, we all are only trusting so far what can be said either way on the issue. We're hoping that we're going to be hitting the tail end of this stuff, but we also don't know come fall what's going to happen. But right now, as far as movies go, I think you really don't see any movie hitting theaters on a widespread release, especially domestically, if New York and LA are not both open as far as theaters go. Because those are the key markets for the United States. That's where movies have to filter through. That's going to be where the biggest audiences are going to be before they hit the rest of the country. So if those don't open, then Tenet doesn't open.
As far as here in Austin, I know like this is like where Alamo Drafthouse is based out of. We haven't heard anything from Alamo Drafthouse on what their reopening plans are, but I would assume, because we're still a little more than a month away from when Tenet's supposed to release. We'll probably find out something within at least I would actually say probably in the next week.
I was gonna say no later than July 1st.
Yeah,
we'll probably get something by July 1st.
So there's still kind of a question of whether or not Tenet's gonna meet that date. The nice thing about this is, as of right now, if Tenet doesn't meet it, if they decide to push back, then basically new movies are going to wait just another week, because the following week was where Mulan was pushed back to.
The thing about that is if Tenet gets moved,
Mulan might also. Yeah, because then you've got Disney is going to be sitting there like, well, what's the difference the week's going to make?
Yeah.
The only thing that Disney really has in favor of them right now is that Mulan is, again, a live action based off a property that already exists, based off of their cartoon. And it looks phenomenal. And I wish we have seen this already.
Right. The kicker for Mulan, though, is they're looking at beyond just U.S. theaters. For Mulan to really do well, they are looking to the Chinese market.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Why? Please explain it to me.
Because it's a movie based in China. The story is based in China. So that's going to be the movie that you want that China market on.
Mm-hmm. And as far as we know, they're actually doing pretty well as far as reopening back to normal.
From what I hear from the news I've read, I haven't fully stayed on top of the news out of China on that, which, I mean, you think you really should when it comes to this whole global thing, because stuff. But anyway, from what I've read and what I've heard, is they're actually doing pretty good on being able to reopen at least major parts of China. So that's probably going to be one of the kickers for Mulan. If they can technically open globally in that instance, then they might actually keep that US release date.
Either way, I can't wait for theaters to open, because I so want to go back to a movie theater and watch a movie in nice comfy seats.
It's so weird.
It's going to be weird. but it's going to be nice to be able to say that the last movie I saw in the theater was not Bloodshot. Just, oh my God.
And we're back. It's not the only memory we have of theaters isn't
Bloodshot.
Oh gosh. Yeah, and then if Mulan moves, then your next eyes are on Wonder Woman in August.
Mm-hmm.
So if Tenet moves, then you're looking at the possibility of both Wonder Woman and Mulan moving as well.
Because Wonder Woman is also owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So
and the kicker there is that if you move everything to the fall, you're now looking at a situation where supposedly the virus doesn't do as well in the heat, like most viruses of that nature do. They usually resurface in the fall as it starts getting colder. So
which is fantastic right now. We've had $100 to Streamlabs. $100. I'm still doing it.
We've had 100-degree weather.
Days.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Here in Texas, it gets pretty dang hot in the summer, so that's why Texas has been okay with reopening.
Yeah. So while that may have sounded like I was stumbling across my words, I actually did that on purpose because we want to mention Streamlabs, which AJ Lancaster jumped in and started the ball rolling with the donation. Says celebrating Black. I'm going to read part of this. So you can read the other part. Celebrating Black cinema. Beasts of the
AJ, why? Hold on.
You're gonna look this one up.
I'm gonna say your name right. Go for it.
Celebrating Black cinema, Beasts of the Southern Wild had the best child actor performance of all time. My brother will say her name. She was nominated for Best Actress. Favorite quote from her: "When you're a small piece of a big puzzle, you gotta fix what you can." Interesting.
Ooh, that hits.
That's one I might actually have to look up that movie. I've heard her name and I've heard of this movie.
Yeah, she was nominated.
Yeah, I've heard of this movie being talked about, especially recently.
But yeah, that's probably another one I'm gonna need to go and look and check out.
Real quick before I get to that, Alex Ream in the chat says, please rank your favorite Fast and Furious movies in order from 1 to 9. If you go to, www.streamlabs.com/cinefanatics and request at the $20 donation for that, we will more than happily do that. Otherwise, honestly, I've seen how to pronounce her name before, and I feel so terrible that we can't do it.
It's definitely one of those that, like, I don't think she's made like the late night rounds like Saoirse Ronan has, where pretty much every time she was on a late night talk show, the focal point of the discussion is, how do you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do it in a bad Irish accent because she's Irish.
How do you
pronounce your name?
Saoirse.
I mean, I don't even know how to begin to pronounce it without butchering it. I believe she was also in Annie.
She was the new.
She was Annie with Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx's daddy Warbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. She we haven't seen her in a minute, actually.
Yeah. Alex Ream, $1 for every ranking or no deal. I mean, that's 18.
So I'd like to remind everybody that tonight is a fundraiser for Breonna Taylor's GoFundMe. We are doing that through Streamlabs only. We are not doing Super Chat. So if you want to donate to this awesome, amazing cause, help out her family, you want to do that through the Streamlabs, and we will answer any questions that are attached to that donation as well.
Probably also a good time that we should mention that typically, like, we're still new YouTubers. This is still like a baby channel and whatnot.
Yeah.
We understand that most people are probably not like wanting to like donate like even $5, like, hey, how was your day type of thing. Yeah. What's your favorite color? I need to get to know you guys. You probably don't want to do that. And we're usually pretty accommodating. You want to ask like a random question and not donate? Cool. That's fine. I think tonight we're probably going to be a little bit more tight.
We're going to be a little bit more stickler.
We're going to be more of a stickler on that because money needs to be raised. It's a good cause.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if you have questions for us, like want to know us personally, again, put the money through Streamlabs and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Yep.
Although the ranking of 9 Fast and
Let's say that for
9
another
Fast
tagline.
and Furious is going to take a little bit.
I do understand that number 9 in that series hasn't come out yet, and
I
it's
think-
not coming out till next year.
I think he might also be meaning Hobbs and Shaw.
That doesn't count. That's its own movie. And if we're going to count Hobbs and Shaw, then we probably shouldn't count
Tokyo Drift.
Um,
Well, we're ranking them already.
Either way, let's save that for next year when that movie comes out, because that makes a little more sense around that time too.
Yeah, so Alex Ream, if you want to hang out with us for a little while, we'll get to that question.
In a year.
In a year.
I'll see you later, man.
Yeah. There's also the benefit when you actually know the person in real life, so.
Yeah. Well, you know. Anyway, what's next on the docket?
We
That's right. He just said docket.
have a docket.
Bringing that one back.
You know, it's funny. Our channel is made up a lot of like 1920s and 30s like slang. No real point to that. I just wanted to mention it, so that's what you're here for. Where else am I?
Well, we're currently going through the Great Depression, so that makes sense.
I kind of want to catch up on stuff that that was talked about last week
Yeah.
as well. Let's get into Sonic.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. So, no surprise, they have announced that they're going to make a Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
That's right. This story was like last week or so. If you're wondering why we're covering it now, it's because we're too slow.
It's because we didn't do a show last week.
I mean,
Although-
I honestly just wanted to do the Sonic impression.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
legitimately all it was.
That was a good impression.
Yeah. Where's my chili dog?
Ugh. Do the Jaleel White one. Make Sonic sound like Urkel.
No,
Did he do that?
I'm not doing that. You can't make me.
So if you've seen Sonic the Hedgehog, they left the end of that movie wide open for a sequel.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like so wide open like for a sequel in my entire life.
Right.
Just
Except for maybe the Lord of the Rings movies or the Hunger Games movies.
well, those were based off of books. You knew they had to do
Harry Potter.
Well, okay. Let me go back. I would say those were based off of books. You knew they had to do the next book. Divergent begs to differ.
Oh, boom. Got him.
Oh God, the Divergent movies. Ugh.
They diverged a little bit from those movies. Our neighbors are shouting.
Shut up! We're live streaming.
We're live on the internet.
We're trying to talk about movies.
Shut up. Anyway, that's the joys of living in an apartment, y'all. They're really.
Wow,
going
they're
at
like
it.
hitting the wall too.
We might need to call something.
Anyways,
Okay.
man, y'all can't hear this, but that's not good.
That's real. That's not a good thing.
No. Anyways, feel free to let us know in the chat what you think we should do at the in this circumstance, because we're clearly hearing loud, angry shouting, and we could pretty much make out words being said.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't sound good.
Now I think that's our downstairs neighbors, so I think it's just a bunch of dudes living with each other.
The ones down below us,
Yeah. So
they're usually pretty they seem like pretty chill
I
guys.
think it's just a bunch of dudes just shouting at each other,
Maybe.
which might be fine, but I don't know. Anyway,
Woo.
didn't know that's what you were getting when you turned on to the live stream tonight, is it? So, Sonic the Hedgehog.
So they're making a sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog because like Robotnik's trapped in like some like weird alternate
He's
dimension.
trapped in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, and Tails is looking for Sonic, so woo. Gonna be interesting to see where that one goes. Anyways, next
You
story.
can get that stupid look off your face now. I'm interested to see how many of Sonic's old buddies that they actually bring back into the fold. I say bring back like they've had it before, but you saw Tails come in. If like, are they gonna pull in Knuckles? Are they gonna wait a little bit for Knuckles? Are they gonna pull in the multitude of other characters that have been released since the old Genesis days? So I don't know.
I believe Knuckles will be brought in because we had like a slight nod to the echidnas at the beginning.
Yeah.
But they were all wearing masks and like stuff, so it wasn't obviously clear they were echidnas. I had to go. Me personally, I actually did have to go back and look again.
Oh, I caught it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
That'll be interesting to see.
It'll be interesting. I'm into it because I was pleasantly surprised by the Sonic movie. So if there's going to be a second Sonic movie, I will be very interested in seeing it.
Yeah.
Especially because again, we're bringing in some of these other characters that we love from the video games. Yeah, I want to see that. But in our thumbnail, Sonic is racing somebody. Do you want to go to that one?
Sure.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
I was trying to do a segue, but
that works. It's a quick segue. So apparently, I guess rumor is that J.J. Abrams is going to be helming the next Man of Steel movie,
which is a fascinating choice.
I mean, let's just give J.J. Abrams every major like geek property known to man at this point.
Every geek property that's science fiction and starts with S.
Yeah, pretty much. Superman, Star Wars, Star Trek. I mean, possibly. The thing is what they need to do is go back to like the Schmoedown and just, if you're familiar with the Schmoedown, do the wheel during Inner Geekdom, just spin it. Whatever it lands on, that's the next property that J.J. Abrams gets to direct. Right. We'll talk more about Schmoedown in a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, so J.J. Abrams doing Man of Steel 2. Here's the thing. J.J. Abrams is pretty decent at storytelling, as long as Rian Johnson doesn't mess up the story before J.J. Abrams gets to tell it.
And here comes our first dislike.
That was a joke aside, sort of.
You don't have to explain yourself.
But J.J. Abrams, I mean, his Star Trek movies have been really good. Force Awakens was pretty decent, while obviously being a rehash of A New Hope, and opinions of Rise of Skywalker aside. He's not a bad director. He's got like good visions, good ideas, good storytelling. But
the thing with J.J. Abrams, and the problem that I think most people have with him, is that he more so for a lot of people just hasn't been able to stick the landing. And I think that's kind of been his issue with a lot of things. I mean, you go back and you look at Lost, for an example. Never watched the show, probably not going to, because it sounds like the end of that series just kind of...
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones itself, apparently. I haven't seen Game of Thrones either. Not going to watch that show either because Game of Thrones itself. So I think that's the issue that a lot of people have with J.J. Abrams. Do we want to see him take over Man of Steel? I think he's fully capable. It's just who's writing the script also, and what is the tone of the movie. If we're sitting there doing another Man of Steel, you're trying to recopy, say, Zack Snyder's tone, that's not really gonna be up J.J. Abrams' alley.
Well, I mean, actually, if you think about it, J.J. Abrams' like visual is a lot like Zack Snyder, just with a lot more lens flares.
Yeah, lens flare, but it's typically he operates a little bit brighter and a little bit more colorful.
So if the villain is Brainiac, this is gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially if they make Brainiac look like the way he did, like in the '90s cartoon. That would be great.
Yeah, so the kicker here is, are we even getting a Man of Steel sequel? And if so, can we have somebody else from Superman's Rogues Gallery besides Lex and Zod be the villain in the movie?
There's
plenty of choices.
It is high time to get away from Zod and Lex.
We gotta have Brainiac.
I don't mind if Lex... Well, I kind of do because it's Jesse Eisenberg, but I don't mind if Lex has a part in it. But I don't want him to be the big villain. He needs to be someone who's like running things like behind the scenes type of thing. He pops in and out, still trying to do something. But I also, if they can manage to, I guess, heal the DCEU and put it back into the direction, and put it back into the direction it needs to go. This needs to be also building up and leading towards Darkseid.
Yeah.
Which I know the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League is also going to be doing as well.
It's called the Snyder cut. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
The Snyder cut.
Real quick pause on things. Just so we're all aware, it's quieted down.
Yeah.
No one's shouting anymore. So
they realized we were louder than they were.
Yeah. I've heard shouting before, and it usually is just one quick thing, and then whatever happens is reconciled. So
yeah, it sounded like someone left. So
yeah. We're fine.
Someone buggered off.
It's all good. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry.
We're fine. They're fine.
hopefully.
They're fine. Everything's fine. Everyone's fine. So,
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm live.
You get that reference?
Yeah, we're fine here. Everyone's fine here. How are you? Oh, great Star Wars reference. But yeah, so you got J.J. Abrams potentially directing Man of Steel, and then on the flip side, you have Henry Cavill is in talks again about reprising Superman. So does that mean he's coming back for Man of Steel too? Because yes, please, I want Man of Steel too. Man of Steel is by far not the worst DC EU movie. I believe that goes to Suicide Squad. It's either Suicide Squad, Justice League, or Batman vs Superman. Which I still haven't seen the ultimate director's cut of Batman vs Superman. I do want to see that because I hear that it's actually a lot better. I'm sure somebody in the chat will say that too. So that's what I'm kind of wanting to see. But,
AJ Lancaster just put in a very, very good Solomon Grundy, played by the buff Ethan Suplee.
Yeah, because he's gotten fit over.
He's gotten big. He's gotten like massively like buff. I mean, it's like all over the internet. Check out Ethan Suplee's diet and workout routine. I mean, I just saw a picture of him today as well. So
yeah,
I mean,
he's turned into a monster.
Yeah, that's a really good casting choice right there.
It's not terrible. It's pretty.
Ethan Suplee, Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday.
But if he's like a really like super muscular buff Solomon Grundy rather than just kind of the hulking lurking, yeah, that would be an interesting choice. I don't know if I can see Solomon Grundy necessarily being a main villain for a whole Superman movie. He kind of strikes me as like someone that Superman is dealing with at the beginning of the movie, or another villain who's just teamed up with the main villain in some capacity.
Which would lead back into the fact that it looks like Lex Luthor, last we saw, was trying to pull together like the Legion of Doom or something, which Solomon Grundy has always usually been a member of.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And it also would make sense you'd get an actor like, say, Ethan Suplee. You don't have like A-list actor playing this character. He can easily be available, for the most part, to come in and play like maybe a smaller role in this particular movie, and have a bigger, larger part in a more team ensemble when they bring in the full Legion of Doom. Right. Completely makes sense. I think that's completely possible. So, yeah, I like that casting choice.
It'd be really fascinating, especially because, like, we're looking at the direction the DCEU is going right now. You have movies out there, not even just the DCU, just DC in general. It has movies out there that are... Some movies are operating sort of loosely on a larger storyline, and some movies are just strictly their own thing. They're not tied directly into a larger storyline, at least not for the moment in time. They're not. So it's interesting if they go in the direction of making a sequel to Man of Steel, because that's kind of them kind of coming back and committing to the expanded universe, which I do want to see, but the issue is how are you doing that? Because I mean, you have someone like Ben Affleck, who was, in my opinion, a very, very good Batman. He actually played Batman very well, but he's out. He's not coming back. So what do you do for the Batman side of things in this expanded universe? Because I still want to see all of my favorite DC superheroes operating as a team together. You know, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, all these who we haven't seen before come back, and actually everyone, the whole Justice League operating together. You don't get that if Batman's old and dying or whatever.
I was just thinking you should just make the next Justice League movie, have it directed by Kevin Smith. You'd get Ben Affleck back. You'd get Ethan Suplee as Solomon Grundy. Probably get Jason Mewes as like a Riddler or whatever.
Get Jason Lee as Plastic Man.
That would be that would work. Just as long as he doesn't say anything bad like the other Plastic Man. Or not Plastic Man, I'm thinking Elongated Man, sorry.
Yeah. For that movie, it would work.
The thing, like, Plastic Man actually would have been perfect. It was like 90s Jim Carrey. 90s Jim Carrey would have been Plastic Man easily.
Can Plastic Man give, like, was it the stink palm? What is
it? Yeah. Say, would you like a chocolate-covered pretzel?
All right, Yondu.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Good pull.
Deep cut.
Anyways, so yeah, joking of that aside, that would be interesting.
I would love to see Henry Cavill come back. I mean, I not necessarily love. I'm into the idea of Abrams directing Man of Steel 2.
And going back to the idea that like it's got to be another villain besides Lex or Zod, I think we are at the point that I think, especially because of how DC movies are right now, if you were to announce another one like, yeah, well, Superman now has to take on the newest threat from Lex Luthor's henchmen or whatever, everyone's gonna be like, no, I'm not giving my money. I want to see Superman punch something else. Stop with Lex. I think you have to force DC's hand at that.
I honestly think they could have a solid game plan going forward, especially if we operate off the idea that the Snyder Cut is our canon Justice League movie. So in which case you still have Steppenwolf a little bit, but you introduce Darkseid to be used more fully later on.
But there's also like a lot of the other characters from Apocalypse. You could bring in like Calabac and Desaad. Granny Goodness. Yeah, you could bring in all these characters.
Nerds!
Yeah, and hopefully Granny Goodness is portrayed by Ed Asner.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Granny Goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, you had those opportunities. I mean, the way I see it is you do the Snyder Cut, you come back, you do a Justice League 2 with the Legion of Doom, essentially. And then parts of that, there's still influence of Darkseid in there somewhere. Justice League 3, you got Darkseid.
Which, I mean, real quick, back to TV. I don't know if you watched the whole Justice League cartoon, but they actually did a really good thing where that's pretty much what the cartoon was. Like, Darkseid and Apocalypse were up here.
Yeah.
They were a running threat that would periodically come down to Earth and mess some things up.
Wreak havoc!
But you had, for the most point, it was always Justice League versus Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
And that the Justice League cartoon actually ended with Darkseid's full-on invasion of Earth and the Legion of Doom.
Boom tubes everywhere.
Yeah. Legion of Doom partners up with them, and Lex is all a part of this, helping Darkseid find the anti-life equation.
It's
nerd.
Literally right there in front of your eyes.
Copy the cartoon.
It's right there in front of your eyes, DC Universe.
Just copy the cartoon.
It's right there. Just do it. Just give us a live action version of that, and we'll be perfectly happy.
Yeah. So, AJ Lancaster, don't know if y'all can react to it, but Kaiser just cut one of the best promos this year.
Just in his own videos.
Yeah, probably not during the tagline.
It's kind of hard to do that on stream right now. We don't really have the setup to
bring in another video like that. If we were on StreamYard, then yes, but
yeah, it'd be a little bit more difficult right now. But I'm definitely gonna watch it later.
Oh, most definitely.
For sure. I love everything that Kaiser does.
Yeah. So no new donations yet. Again, this is a donation stream. Please donate. All proceeds go to Breonna Taylor's GoFundMe.
Again, we're going through Streamlabs. Please donate to the Streamlabs link. Anything that comes in through the YouTube Super Chat, YouTube takes a cut of that. We don't really want that. YouTube doesn't need to take any money away from the fundraising that we're trying to do for Breonna Taylor here. So, please, guys, anything you can give is, I mean, all of it goes to a good place. So, anything you can give is helpful. If it's just $1, what have you, all of it is beneficial. So. We're doing that through Streamlabs, though. We're doing that all this week, so you have all of this week to give. Not necessarily just while we're live, but throughout the rest of this week. I think we'll probably end it on Friday, and then we'll make announcements on Twitter and whatnot. But tonight and definitely tomorrow night, we're going to be doing the main live stream portions of this. So, guys, definitely give anything you can. So. That's what we're doing.
It's kind of weird with this delay that now I'm seeing that I'm not sitting in this chair. This feels like that, was it that Memoirs of an Invisible Man with Chevy Chase movie where he sat in the chair and would turn around while he's talking to the video. Oh, there you go. Yeah. When he's talking to a video camera.
And the great thing is that we also had an Invisible Man movie more recently that came out, which Invisible Man is a character who should have come out in a dark universe that Universal was trying to do.
By the way, y'all are seeing genius like play out right here, but
and maybe trying to do still. And why is that?
Oh, because apparently Ryan Gosling has signed on to play the Wolfman in a Wolfman movie.
So, like I said, y'all just saw genius there because that was not what I intended. I actually wanted to mention John Carpenter was the director of that. Go figure. Anyways.
John Carpenter's not related to anything right now, whereas the Wolfman is.
Yeah, so good point.
Bang, bang.
So Ryan Gosling is going to play the Wolfman? I think the last time we saw like some kind of an adaptation of the Wolfman, the official Wolfman storyline, was Benicio del Toro.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, which was a weird take.
I forgot about that.
But
completely. That's like one of those that's like, hey, this movie exists. Does it? I don't think so.
yeah.
That movie doesn't exist. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not against it, especially if Universal is like low key trying to be like, hey, by the way, this is the Dark Universe.
You might actually have to say that closer into the microphone.
Hey, by the way, this is the Dark Universe. Hi, welcome to Cinefanatics ASMR.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Dark Universe today.
Tonight, it's Universal, and we're talking about the Dark Universe and the Wolfman, played by Ryan Gosling. Wow, I'm glad I don't have one of those channels.
You know how I know when I'm doing that, when I'm really close to the microphone? Because it tickles the facial hair.
Burns the nostrils.
Yeah.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah, I don't recommend you do that again because you end up getting off frame when you do that.
I do what I want.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, first of all, Ryan Gosling as the Wolfman. Ryan Gosling can do no wrong, really, to me.
The thing
Have you
is,
seen this lovely movie called La La Land? He's fantastic in
good
it.
Lord. Why do we have to bring up Ryan Gosling? Every time you mention Ryan Gosling, La La Land has to come into play.
Yeah. So, Ryan Gosling as the Wolfman, what do we think about that?
I like it. I'm kind of curious as to if
I hope he plays it like the nice guys.
I'm wondering if they're gonna make this like a period piece, like still keeping Wolfman like back then in ye olden times or whenever it came out. I wonder if they're gonna do it like that, or if they might modernize it, put it in the same exact time and universe as Invisible Man. If this is again going back to if Lee Whannell's Invisible Man is going to be a part of this this revamped Dark Universe that they're abandoning, that they abandoned since The Mummy.
Yeah. Real quick, we'll get back onto the subject in a minute. I just want to shout this one out. We have a fantastic donation, a nice big donation from Lucas Shashek. Thank you so much, Lucas. We really appreciate that donation coming in. Just that it's very generous.
Feel free to ask
Very
us
generous.
like any questions, personal, whatever you would like, Lucas. Feel free to drop that. You can drop that in the chat since you didn't attach it to the donation. Just let us know what you would like to know about us.
Yeah.
Almost no subject is off the table.
Well,
That's why I said almost. It's
Almost.
the definition of almost.
anyway, thank you so much, Lucas. We really appreciate that. And once again, guys, if you want to like follow in Lucas's footsteps here, we are definitely doing all donations through Streamlabs. I know we've said that a lot here, but we just want to make sure we are putting it out there and it's aware.
Jeez.
So,
Look at Garth is having the fun with words on this. So they had Del Toro become a Wolfman. Now Gosling becomes a Wolfman. So Bull into a wolf. Now Little Duck into a wolf.
how do you do this, Garth?
Like
How do you do this, Garth?
every week.
I don't.
Every day. I feel like this is probably something that happens like almost every other minute.
I'm gonna give Garth a nickname here. You ready?
Huh.
Garth Magical Mind McMurray.
Wow, that just rolls off the tongue, doesn't
A
it?
lot of M's.
Yeah.
I like it.
Garth Eminem.
Garth Eminem.
Eminem.
Anyway, that nickname doesn't have to stick. It's anybody wants to, it's fine. But
The magical mind is here.
the magical mind is here.
Well, actually, I might actually start doing that like every week now when he pops up. Because like he pops up like very late to
Well,
this one.
We'll see.
The
If he-
magical mind is here.
We'll see if he says he hates it. Then I'm like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
because I'm kind and generous, and I don't want to call people things that they don't like.
But I do like Garth, and I think that's a good playful name. I like it.
It's playful.
Yeah.
That's playful. Anyway,
Anyways, good point, Garth.
yeah. So it'd be yeah, like we said, especially if Lee Whannell's Invisible Man is part of this, it'd be very interesting to see if they are low key trying to rebuild that dark universe. Which, if they are, they're doing it very smartly. Which is completely counter to what they were doing before, which is, hey, here's all the actors that are going to be in your dark universe. And that photo makes no sense anymore.
Oh, I don't even remember that photo.
You don't remember this? It had Russell Crowe, Tom Cruise, Javier Bardem, Johnny Depp, and I believe Sofia Boutella was in it.
From The Mummy, yeah.
Yeah, because they had Mummy.
Who were the other ones? Javier Bardem was Frankenstein monster?
Was I believe going to be Frankenstein's monster, and
Johnny Depp's got to be Dracula.
No, Johnny Depp was going to be the Invisible Man.
Oh, okay.
And then I think they were trying to tap Angelina Jolie to be like Bride of Frankenstein or something like that. Like they were going to make a Bride of Frankenstein movie, which is interesting.
Javier Bardem and Angelina Jolie.
I mean, I can see it.
As the dead couple.
It works. Yeah. But apparently it doesn't work because it didn't work. It didn't happen. So it'd be
I'm
really
trying to picture her as like Elsa Lancaster's. Yeah, I just don't see that one working that well. I don't know.
It's not going to work because they're not going to do it now. So that's what I'm saying. If they're going to reboot the Dark Universe, but keep it quiet.
Garth said he's fine with that nickname. Garth Eminem.
Garth.
Magical Mind McMurray.
Magical Mind McMurray. Don't start singing Cats. Do not.
I actually was not thinking that until you said it. Now I got the magical Mr. Mistopheles stuck in my head. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. What's next on that there docket again?
And that's a song from Cats when it was enjoyable before it got ruined.
When was that?
Good point. Cats had some good music. If nothing else, you got to give Cats music was really good.
I'll put the CD on, but I'm not putting a video on.
Yeah. But I mean, Andrew Lloyd Webber can
either one of those you stream things now.
Andrew Lloyd Webber can do no wrong, unless he's ripping off Pink Floyd. That's a whole nother subject.
Not too many people know about, so.
Yeah, I know. That's a fun one, though.
Anyway, what's next?
Someone donate to Streamlabs so I can tell the story of that one, because that one's a fun story.
Ridiculous.
Next story, because we need to hurry up through some of these stories.
Yeah, let's just rapid fire some of these.
This one's actually really quick. J.K. Simmons may have signed a multi-picture deal to be in Spider-Man movies again.
Awesome.
Along with the first one that he's already been in.
Awesome.
He may be in other future Spider-Man movies. That's great. I love that. Great idea.
So here's real quick. Here's the thing that the rumors have been saying about this that I don't believe are true, but I am completely down for, and this could actually help you segue into one of the next stories. Sam Raimi is directing the Doctor Strange sequel. I don't even know if my hand's on camera right now.
I like this transition.
Sam Raimi is directing the Doctor Strange sequel, and since it's the Multiverse of Madness, they're talking about introducing a multiverse where there's different pockets of Marvel Universe that exist somewhere, and that means they're saying, I guess the rumor has it that Spider-Man's extra appearance that he's on tap for the MCU beyond just Spider-Man 3 could be in that movie, in which case you might be tapping into, say, some of the Spider-Verse stuff. You're tapping into some of the stuff that Sony's doing with Morbius and Venom. But more importantly, because Sam Raimi's directing Doctor Strange 2, you could be tapping into the Spider-Man movies of old that featured Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man and bringing that Spider-Man into the MCU in a roundabout kind of way, and possibly making a Spider-Man 4 of sorts.
Which Sam Raimi's like, I got my movie anyways.
Oh man, that would be insane.
It boggles the mind.
Here's the thing. MCU has worked. Give or take your Thor Dark Worlds aside. For the most part, even the misses from MCU have been hits for anybody else.
Yeah.
So MCU has been hit after hit after hit. Even I have a hard time believing this could really work if that whole rumor structure is true, which I doubt. I have a hard time believing it could work, but if it can, strap me in. I'm ready.
Strap me in, boss. Let's go.
I'm going on this ride. I am all for it because that gives Sony essentially the clearance to take Spider-Man out of the MCU if they really have to do that. I don't want them to. But post contract that they have right now with Marvel, take Spider-Man out. He's doing his own thing over here, and it just makes sense as an offshoot in a different universe from the MCU.
I like this idea only in so much. So here's the good and bad of that idea. The bad side is that Sony's already very well established a Spider-Verse cartoon universe, and that could confuse people. The good side of this is when you start messing with alternate dimensions, hence the Spider-Verse, you could possibly take a person out of a current timeline, have them go on a whole nother adventure and come back. Just like a little while ago when I got up and I took my whiskey glass with me, I actually went like on a huge adventure. I was gone for months, and then I came back to the table a changed man. And I mean, you've got that possibility as well. So you're not deviating from the main MCU, but you still have, say, in this case, Spider-Man going off on his whole like little tangent adventure that's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be amazing. And that is a great idea that I don't think anyone other than Doc Brown has ever actually touched upon in movies.
Well, so yeah, I mean, especially when you're talking about the fact that you have the ability to, if Sony really wants to get wild and crazy, they have the ability to tap into the Spider-Verse, jump into some animation, bring some of that animation into real life. Miles Morales comes out of that and is interacting with Tobey Maguire and
you're
Tom
talking
Holland.
about connecting the
I'm
animated.
talking about everything.
Oh,
everything is part of a multi-Spider-Verse.
You're going full tilt crazy on this one.
Yeah, for sure. You have that ability though with Sam Raimi directing that Doctor Strange 2. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, but I mean, when you have J.K. Simmons signed up for multiple movies, you have the ability to do that because you have a character who can tie into the different universes very well. I love this idea. It's never going to happen. And if it does, I'm completely okay with being wrong. It's never going to happen, but I love the idea.
If it does, I'm suing for the rights to this because I just came up with that.
No, they would have already thought about it before us.
That's not possible. Two people can't think of the same idea.
That being said, love J.K. Simmons coming back from Multi-Pictures, but you do have Doctor Strange being directed by Sam Raimi, which leads into the next story, which I guess you'll get into in here in just a second. You have something you want to say?
Because I just saw Garth's comment on here.
Oh, Garth.
You realize that you have to make that journey of Robert video show the adventure you just went on.
We don't have the budget for that.
That would be funny on its own, but the problem here is that he did capitalize journey, which I guess he meant to make like the story journey of Robert, but when I saw journey capitalized, my first thought went to the band. And so I'm imagining the whole journey that I did go on to the tune of Don't Stop Believing or Faithfully.
Are you just a small town girl?
Just a small, living in a lonely world, yo.
Yeah.
I mean,
You took the midnight train to anywhere.
It was going anywhere.
Yeah.
To Spider-Verse is where it went. Anyways, so that's the thing is Sam Raimi is about to go, like, I guess, dabble and play in the MCU.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, really unfortunately for a diehard horror fan like me, that means he won't be able to dabble in the next Evil Dead movie.
His universe that he created.
Which this one's going to be kind of an interesting take because, well, I'll get into it here in a second. So the story I'm leading into with this transition is that they announced that they're doing another Evil Dead movie. They've announced the title is supposed to be called Evil Dead Now.
Right
which,
now.
I mean, here's the
Right
thing:
now.
the last official Evil Dead movie was Army of Darkness, which played with time travel when they sent Ash back to medieval times
With his boomstick.
with his boomstick. Correct. Now this one is called Evil Dead Now.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, and I've read a little bit about this, but I believe this doesn't have anything to do with the 2013 Fede Alvarez Evil Dead remake-ish movie.
Does it have anything to do with the TV show?
I'm not certain if it has anything to do with the Ash versus Evil Dead TV show. It seems like for all intents and purposes, this is going to be potentially a fourth Evil Dead movie, straight from the original three. Which would make sense that you call it Evil Dead Now, because, again, the third one was a time travel movie. Now, the Evil Dead is back in the present time. The only thing that makes me question that, though, is what I've read is Bruce Campbell does not have anything to do with this next movie.
Boo.
Which, I mean...
and I say that being someone who's never watched any of the Evil Dead movies. Because
and you probably... you could watch Army of Darkness.
Yeah, it's not
And without watching the previous two perfectly fine.
I'm sure they're great.
But the thing is
horror, no.
Bruce Campbell really didn't have anything to do with the 2013 Fede Alvarez one either. Except for a cameo at the very, very end. But
So it was a Spider-Man movie.
it was still a good movie.
That Evil Dead movie was fantastic. I love the Evil Dead movies.
I'm
that
going to
one
take
was
your word for it.
So good. In fact, I'm ready to rewatch it again. And I just saw it last night.
All right, fine. I'm watching La La Land again then.
Yeah. So I believe this is going to be I believe this is going to be possibly a lead into the fourth movie where we're going to have some other protagonists following in Ash's boomstick.
Nice.
So interested to see how that goes. They did announce that the director they got is Lee Cronin, who was known for a little movie, Hole in the Ground. I haven't seen this. I haven't heard too much about it. I did read up on the movie, of course, right before this. But
he's directing horror. Of course, his last name is Cronin.
It's not Cronenberg.
I didn't say that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I just said, of course.
But Lee Cronin, because of Hole in the Ground, he was seemingly handpicked by Sam Raimi to do this.
That's got to give you some hope if he's handpicked by Sam Raimi.
Well, so was Fede Alvarez, and that movie turned out fantastic.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes on this.
High hopes.
That is the weirdest song to sing in relation to an Evil Dead movie.
Well, sure. I mean, I heard the words high hopes. So because I have nothing to add to that conversation, we're going to go ahead and move on from that.
That's perfectly fine. I've covered all the Evil Dead news that needed to be covered in that story.
We got a couple more donations here in Streamlabs. Everybody donating to Breonna Taylor's GoFundMe, so we really appreciate that. We got one from Oscar. He said, "It ain't much, but much love to you guys. P.S. Jake likes to throw 5 before Roka goes live." I love the rhyme there, too.
Yeah, that sounded pretty nice.
Yeah, so really appreciate that, Oscar. Really, really do. Next one from JJ Winward.
Who is also a new subscriber, by the way.
New subscriber, JJ Winward.
Thank you, JJ.
I believe I feel like JJ Winward was also in the Bandit Brigade during Ben's live stream, too, because JJ Winward donated $1.69. Nice. Which, if you were in Ben Goddard's...
Such a family-friendly channel.
If you were in... I'm not going to explain it. If you were in Ben Goddard's live stream, you would understand that number means something to the immature, but those who want to help.
Even if you're not in Ben Goddard's live stream, you probably have a pretty good idea of what that number means.
It means you're immature, but you want to help.
While I appreciate that he donated $1.69,
he wants you to tell the Andrew Lloyd Webber story.
More than $1.69 is also pretty good. Had to be said.
Really?
So tell the Andrew Lloyd Webber story. So real quick, Andrew Lloyd Webber in reference to Pink Floyd. Was what I was talking about. So if you've seen or
Get you
heard
some education tonight.
If you've seen or heard the Phantom of the Opera, the main theme, dun 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 dun. My singing aside, that's not what you're here for, but
making
that progression there it sounds exactly like a progression from the Pink Floyd song Echoes.
Right.
If you're familiar with Echoes, this is what's sickening. My brother knows that I love Pink Floyd to death.
Yeah, it's sickening.
It's sickening how much I love Pink Floyd. Here's where it's going to get bad.
It's the word of the night.
The song Echoes. Mm-hmm. 3 minutes and 44 seconds into Echoes is where you'll hear that progression. I know down to the second where that is in that song. That's weird. And I know that.
Okay,
I'm okay with it.
I would like everybody to understand and realize this is the same brain that would like to do movie trivia.
Oh, yeah.
Professionally. So if this brain who loves Pink Floyd can remember this detail of Pink Floyd, think about what this brain can do with movies that it loves.
So, yeah,
that's a side.
That's why he had his mic echo. Hopefully the mic hasn't been echoing tonight. I've been doing a really good job of staying on top of that to keep it from echoing. So
we got some things we need to try out on it, but
yeah. I'm still working on it. I think I've got it reeled in to what exactly is causing it. Anyways,
we hope.
I know Garth is probably also just trying to turn a phrase, and that's a good one, Garth. I actually really do appreciate that one.
Magical mind.
But so yeah, it for what it sounds like is Andrew Lloyd Webber did the Phantom of the Opera song much later, way beyond after Pink Floyd did Echoes.
Yeah,
and so it sounds like because it's the exact same progression, same time
the time frame, time chord, whatever. I don't know music. I know movies. The same time progression, I guess. Chord progression, whatever.
You had all the words, you just didn't in the right order.
Squeeze them together.
You just didn't have them in the right chord progression.
So since it's the same as Echoes, Roger Waters from Pink Floyd, who good job, who originally wrote Echoes, and he came out saying like, yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber completely ripped that off of me. It is complete plagiarism. I probably could sue for this because it's the same everything, but life's way too short to bother with suing Andrew effing Lloyd Webber. It is one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard from like almost anyone.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that quote.
It's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny quote.
Oh man. Oh. Anyways, that's the Andrew Lloyd Webber Pink Floyd connection.
Did we have any more news? I think we're
there was one more news. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's one more news.
There's one more news.
We don't have to talk about it right now. We could talk about it later. We could push it off till later, or we could talk about it right now. Oh, that's funny right there. I don't care who you are.
My mind is blanking.
So apparently, it was announced by, I guess it was announced by Josh Boone, the director, that New Mutants actually was meant. Now you get it.
Got it.
That New Mutants actually was supposed to be a trilogy.
Pass.
So my initial thought when I read this news story was like, you got to get the first one out first, yo. I mean,
real quick, guys, we're $8 away from a very solid donation number. We're currently sitting at $61.69. So if we get $8 more donated, anybody wants to chime in $8.
Throw in that $8, get us to the.
We're just gonna pull a Goddard here, and we're just gonna do it. Look, AJ said in the chat he doesn't get it, and guess what, AJ? I'm not explaining it to you. Unless you give us $8, and then maybe I'll explain it to you private messages. I'm not doing it in the live stream.
Anyway, so yeah, apparently New Mutants is supposed to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
Again, you got to get the first one out there. And then let's see what Disney does with it, because this is completely up to Disney to make a decision on.
At this point, no, I don't believe there's going to be sequels to New Mutants. Even if Disney says, yeah, all right, we'll fold them into the MCU.
Yeah.
I see this movie coming out. It's going to be a one-off, mutants done horror style. Big scary bear. That's it.
Yeah. The demon bear.
Big scary bear.
So, yes. Now, going back and talking about 69.
Why?
Because we have to. Today is June 9th. It is 6/9, which apparently has been dubbed Bill and Ted Day. After 29 years, Bill and Ted have come back. They've got another movie coming out. The trailer just dropped today because 69 dudes.
So here's the thing about that is we talked in our trailer reaction, which you can watch on our channel right now. We talked. It's up. Yeah, it's up. We talked in that we thought that we probably would have gotten this trailer sooner.
Yeah.
In the year if it weren't for all the pandemic stuff.
All the craziness.
But also I'm kind of thinking now that maybe we wouldn't have. Now that I'm really thinking about it, like maybe this was their plan the entire time. They were always going to release a trailer on June 9th, no matter what.
So here's the thing. I actually believe that the teaser trailer that we got today, for all intents and purposes, it was a teaser.
Yeah.
I believe you got to look at the Streamlabs. That's pretty good.
I feel like that's a
freaking AJ.
That's almost an Office quote.
Anyways, we'll come back to that here in a second, but that's funny. That I believe that this trailer was supposed to come out a couple of months ago.
Keep talking.
And that yes, you're correct, that they were going to release one on June 9th, because that's just way too good to. Are you actually trying to think of it?
Anyway.
That's awesome. That they were going to release a trailer on this day. But by this day, we were supposed to get the second trailer.
It's going to be a stupid challenge.
I know.
Go. Keep talking.
So,
I hate you, AJ.
Love AJ. Y'all will know here in a second what we're laughing about. Yeah. So, oh man, this is just so throwing me off. Yeah, I
Bill and
believe
Ted.
this trailer, that we were supposed to get this trailer because I remember when this pandemic thing was first like really starting, and I think it was probably roughly around
our second episode.
the first episode, when we were talking about how the James Bond movie was going to get pushed back. I believe it was roughly around there
Yeah.
was when I was
Huh? What?
I believe it was roughly around there when I was expecting this trailer to drop.
Yeah.
The first trailer for Bill and Ted.
For at least a couple months, sure.
And then it never happened.
Yeah.
But I was expecting, I was awaiting. I think we mentioned in the trailer the fact that my brother's never seen the previous 2 Bill and Ted movies. And I think it
Yeah.
was around that time I was telling you, dude, you might want to watch these movies because this trailer is about to drop like any day now.
And I'm stubborn, and I don't necessarily just want to watch a movie because I have to for a reason.
Because you don't listen to me.
No, it's that I would rather be in the mood, and I want it to be my idea when I watch movies. Now, that's something I'm going to have to get over because we have a movie YouTube channel, so I'm just going to have to do it anyway.
They're good movies.
Yeah, no, I'm not against them whatsoever. I'm totally for it. I just haven't watched them.
Don't think of it as that you're forcing yourself to watch it. Just
Shut up and let me do me.
okay. That was a weird phrase.
Anyway, so no, so before that movie comes out, I will watch the first 2, because I'm gonna have to if I'm gonna properly be able to review Bill and Ted 3, and I'm not letting you review that one by yourself because it's not a horror movie and I can easily see it. So that's that. You can watch our reaction to the trailer. I actually really enjoyed the trailer, but you can watch our reaction to it on the channel now.
Yeah, we got that up just before we went live, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Speaking of a lot of fun,
If you would like to tackle this now.
so
AJ Lancaster.
AJ wants me to explain it to him in detail, but as if he was a child.
Well, also keep in mind that he donated the requisite $8 to get us to $69.69.
yeah.
So now you have to explain what 69 is, but explain it as if you were explaining it to a child.
I'm not. You can't do it in detail to a child.
No, you can't.
Those two things do not combine. You cannot go in detail and explain it to a child. When 2 people love each other,
Alcohol's involved.
love is a loose word, actually.
Love.
When
Love.
When
love,
two
love.
people really, really enjoy each other's company.
I want to know if anyone got that reference I just made.
When 2 people really, really enjoy each other's company, they decide sometimes to really, really, really enjoy each other's company. And sometimes when they do so, one likes to handstand and one likes to just stand up normal.
What?
That's just to paint the picture for a child of orientation, essentially.
What is it?
They also like when they enjoy each other's company, they like to kiss each other. Just you know?
This is the most adult this channel has ever been.
I'm just saying, AJ, has this been worth your $8 yet?
This is worth more than $8.
This is worth more than $8. Feel free to give more than $8. This is all going to
A really good cause.
a really good cause.
Justice for Breonna Taylor.
JJ Winward, when 2 people love each other upside down.
Fantastic. So while
It's a Stranger Thing.
here's the thing, while that was really good, my favorite reference is still Forgetting Sarah Marshall. What's his face? Oh man.
Nicely done. You're on camera.
He hasn't really been in movies except for this one.
Aldous Snow.
No. He was the page on 30 Rock. He's been on Conan O'Brien.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Shoot. Yeah, blanking on his name right now.
Anyways, he was in that, and he was lamenting at the bar. He's like, "Yeah, God's not a city planner. Why would you put a playground next to a sewage dump?" Jack McBrayer.
Jack McBrayer. Yeah. Got it.
Schmoedown.
Got it before anyone in the chat said it.
Mhm.
Got him. That's the key.
Oh, what a lovely tea party.
Like a tea party and gymnastics. Oh, what a lovely tea party.
That's a View Askew Universe reference there.
Yeah. Oop.
Ah,
Yeah.
JJ Windward got the Jack McBrayer.
You're too slow. Got him. We brought it back to Sonic. Yes. JJ Windward did actually donate a little bit more here in chat, another $10.69. I'm noticing a theme here. Wild Stallions. Best part of the trailer was seeing the Orion logo.
Here's the thing, and I'm kicking myself. I didn't react to the Orion logo in the trailer.
What's the matter with you? I need to watch the first two movies.
Well, the thing is we haven't seen anything from the Orion studio roughly since the last Bill and Ted movie.
Which makes me wonder, is it actually still an up and running studio, or did they just put the logo in there? It's been defunct and they just threw the logo in there for nostalgia's
I
sake?
don't know the details, but it is still an up and running studio. I do need to read up on the details just because I'm a person who likes studying useless knowledge, which is why I'm good at movie trivia.
Knowledge isn't useless.
Well, if you're actually participating in movie trivia,
Or
then
if you're
absolutely not.
Casting director.
Well, I'm not.
Well, okay.
Be a casting director.
Just okay.
So
when two people really enjoy each other's company,
that one will cast another to be in a movie.
and
Whoa.
they're not related.
Wrong movie.
Anyway, that currently brings our total up to $80.38. So for all of you keeping track at home, we are at $80.38 for Breonna Taylor's GoFundMe. That's really awesome. Like I'm glad that we've honestly got anything going towards the fundraiser. I'm just glad that we can be a part of the movement, part of the donations and stuff for that. So thank you guys for taking part and giving tonight.
Real quick, if anyone else wants to donate, please do it through Streamlabs.
Everyone has so far, and you guys have been great about that. You guys gotten the message.
Do not super chat.
YouTube are sticklers on the super chat.
This is probably like one of the first times you probably hear someone on YouTube saying, please do not super chat on YouTube. We're on YouTube. Do not super chat us. And, send money through Streamlabs. Yeah. YouTube takes 33% of all super chats. This is a donation. This money's meant to go to an actual cause. Yep. So we don't need necessarily, like, I'm okay with YouTube profiting off of our donations meant for us, but in this case, I don't want YouTube profiting off a donation.
I'm not even really okay with YouTube profiting off us, but that's the way it works, so you just have to deal with it.
Well, I mean, that's the way the world works. I'm okay with it.
Anyway, so
maybe not 33%, but that's another story.
I mean, we could do like 5%, would be fine.
I like how I started talking on this side of my mouth, and I switched to this one.
All right, Stallone. Anyway.
Yo, Adrian.
So I think we're pretty much wrapped up on really news stories here.
That pretty much covered all the major movie news of this week and the week before. Let's talk about some Schmoedown.
Let's talk about some Schmoedown. Like we do every week, guys, we move into the Schmoedown part of the show. We got a lot of Schmoedown to cover because there's just a bunch of stuff happening and going on in that world.
This is a busy week.
It's been a busy week. For those of you who are not aware of the Schmoedown, like we explain every show, it's movie trivia meets basically wrestling, professional wrestling, where you have these storylines, you have rivalries, you have factions, but it's all based around an actual real movie trivia competition, and you have like the rankings like a UFC type deal.
So hopefully you're familiar with wrestling.
Yeah, so
if you're not familiar with Schmoedown, hopefully you know wrestling.
It's the idea that there's good guys, bad guys, and team ups and all sorts of stuff, but it's based around an actual movie trivia competition. Yeah. So for those who were not aware, that is the Schmoedown. We are going to be talking about that. To go check them out on the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. Just when this is over, go click on a couple matches, watch them. If you sign up for our Patreon, we're going to be doing we're going to pick out an older match. We're going to have an older match picked out, and we'll be doing a reaction play along with that. Come back after you're on our Patreon, and you can kind of play along and watch with us then.
That's actually a good point, because I actually made a post about that on our Patreon. If you are at our $10 Avengers tier or higher, you have...
There's no higher right now.
Oh, that's right. We'll do higher later.
We'll do higher later.
If you're at the $10 tier, kind of gave something away there.
We'll get higher later. Nice.
We're in Texas.
Not yet, then. It's coming soon, though.
Federally first before Texas.
Federally first before here.
Before Texas does it.
Nice.
So if you're at the $10 tier, you can go on our Patreon right now. The address is
Yep, there it is. It's right there.
yeah. Join at the $10 tier. You are able to give your opinion, your vote as to which older Schmoedown episode we react to and play along with.
Yeah.
If you've seen, we've been doing Schmoedown reactions for like the past 2 years or so. There's a lot of really good episodes before, some of which we've watched because, I mean, that's how we got into Schmoedown, was watching the older episodes. But it's been a long time since, I don't go back frequently and watch older episodes, so there's a lot of these, probably forgot the questions or so. It would be fun to play along, especially because there's so much, now at this point, there's 7 seasons of Schmoedown, there's so much history in it. It would be fun to react to, not only playing along, but also react to what was happening in the storyline at that time.
Yeah.
How does that affect, like, nowadays? Is there any, like, juxtaposition on there?
When it comes to a lot of these matches, I think the really cool thing is, as you were explaining, when you get to about a year and a half, 2 years out, a lot of these matches, in terms of the questions asked, all of a sudden become a new to me again type of situation where you've watched it, you've experienced it, you've seen those questions, you've answered the questions before, and in our case, we've been reactors to the Schmoedown now for about 2 years or so. So within that given time, we have videos already up on our channel of us reacting to some of these older matches.
Ooh.
Don't go look at them.
Don't go look at those, because those are kind of horrendous.
The quality has definitely improved over the course of 2 years.
Yeah.
Still got a long way to go, but, you know.
I've learned some things as far as video editing.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, a lot of these questions become I don't actually even remember hearing that question before. Really good. Plus, it gives us the opportunity to study up on some old questions, just in case we need to do that for some reason.
Oh, no real, just nonchalant.
Just any old reason.
Just any reason.
Before we really get into too much of the discussion, JJ Windward sent in another Streamlabs, so thank you so much, JJ. You've been very generous tonight. For this time for 1962. He said, let's round this number a little bit. So let's see where that brings us.
Oh, I know where that brings us.
That brings us to an even $100. We have gotten $100 tonight for Breonna Taylor's GoFundMe. That is awesome.
Very happy on that.
I'm very I'm so glad that we got up to the triple digits. Like, that's, I had no preconceived notion as to how high we could get donations on our stream. Like, just the idea of us even doing a donation stream or streams, I was like, let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. You know, any amount we make is going to a good cause. It's going to be helpful. But the fact that we got to 100 actually just that just warms my heart. It really does. It makes me glad to be a part of the community that we're a part of, to have the people watching our show right now who are also part of. I mean, it's just a great community to be a part of, to see all the different streams. Everybody on their live streams are raising money, and just to be able to be a part of that, and to be also be able to give this money to a good cause too, is just, the whole thing just warms me right in my jellies. I think that was a Detective Pikachu reference.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway,
that makes sense why you would quote that. Horror movies, Pokemon. That's the way this channel works.
Got him. Hopefully we get more Pokemon
did you
movies.
Just say got him.
Gotta catch them
Really?
all. I do hope we get more Pokemon movies. Otherwise, this.
Here's the thing: Detective Pikachu was a good movie.
I really enjoyed it.
I'm not anywhere near as big a Pokemon fan as you, but that was a good movie. The visuals were fantastic. The Pokemon looked great. I am down for another Pokemon movie.
Yeah. Is the storyline kind of thin? Just a little bit. But hey, you know what? That's what you gotta expect with this world.
Real quick,
Anyway.
Pardis says in the chat that the new Child's Play was Orion.
That's true.
I completely forgot the Child's Play movies were Orion Pictures also.
Now that he mentions that, I remember seeing that in the trailer that Orion was part of it.
And thinking back to like the reaction to that, I was like, oh yeah. And I think I actually I believe, I'll have to go back and watch my own reaction, but I believe I did call that out.
I mean, it would make sense.
because again, I have a deep love for the Child's Play movies.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of this new one, but I like some of the things it did, some of the liberties it took, but
I like that I said just now. Like I completely agree.
like
with
you
because
know
I've seen
anything about
Like,
the
I know-
Child's Play movies.
I know things about the Child's Play movies. I just haven't watched them.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, horror. No.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he also says Gretel and Hansel was part of it too, but I don't know anybody who saw that movie. So
Yeah. So back to Schmoedown.
back to Schmoedown. Man, where did we leave off? Star Wars tournament, right? Star Wars tournament started. I can't remember the last one. No, because the last tagline we did was with Sean Chandler, and we didn't really dive too deep into that.
Real quick, if y'all are not familiar with Sean Chandler,
Shan Chandler.
sorry, Sean.
Good job.
If you're not familiar with Sean Chandler, fantastic person.
Yeah.
We've sat
that
down,
guy.
we've talked to him in real life before all the craziness happened, and then he agreed to be on the tagline on our last episode 2 weeks ago. Just for like we talked like some YouTube and how to be, because he has gone full time
Yeah.
with YouTube, just talking about movies.
He's doing what we would love to do.
And I absolutely love what he's doing. He does fantastic stuff on his channel. So if you're not familiar with Sean Chandler, highly recommend go check out his channel, because he's also a fellow Austinite.
Yeah.
Like right down the street from us, type of thing.
More or less.
Yeah, actually, right down the street from us is Angry Joe, but
He's right down a couple streets from us.
like Angry Joe is down the street
Yeah,
from us.
right down a few streets. But anyway, yeah, no, the last episode of the tagline was really good. Being able to sit there and talk with him, potential for him to become a Schmoedown competitor also
that's
is very
right.
out there. 'Cause
Yep.
we directly saw Christian contact him on Twitter about it. So,
We're like, dude,
do it.
get in there. Yeah.
Carpool with us to LA. We'll all go together.
So we got him on our show before Chill to Action could get him.
Yeah. Way before. But so yeah, we didn't do it too deep of a dive. Let's loosely cover some of the stuff real quick. The Star Wars tournament is underway live on Twitch. Been fantastic on Twitch so far. They've done pretty well with that live stream on it.
But because of the Twitch setup and because the two of us are pretty much unfamiliar with Twitch because we don't play video games that much.
Which is what most of the audience for Twitch is.
Yeah. Because of that, we haven't been able to, like, typically for Schmoedown on YouTube, we grab the video, we react to it later, and you see the video in our video down below, so you can see exactly what we're reacting to in real time.
We have not found a manner of being able to do that with Twitch yet.
Yeah, we haven't figured out how to do that with Twitch. I believe it's possible, but we haven't been able to figure out how to do that. So because of that, we've been doing reactions live.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the plus side to that, I don't have to edit a video later.
I don't have to edit a darn thing.
I don't have to edit anything. I just got to create a thumbnail and stick it up. The downside to the thumbnail, though, is you're getting images of us from previous like videos and not from that video.
Yeah.
But, I mean, no one else would notice that if I didn't say it.
Splitting hairs. Yeah, I don't even know why you brought it up. So we've had some pretty interesting matches. I mean, the first one we had was Ace versus Josh Quevedo. Ace won that. Awesome. The next one we had was Sean Sullivan versus Laura Kelly. Now, that was a good one because I was really pulling for Sean there. Sean's my boy. But Laura Kelly proved once again that she is a monster in the Star Wars division to go up against and could very well win the entire thing. Very interesting because she's going to have to face... Well, I was going to say she's going to have to face Ken Knapsack next, but Ken's got to face Ace first. So...
I mean, yeah.
So we'll see, but...
So because of last week and like a lot of the YouTubers, including the Schmoedown Entertainment Network, going pretty much blacked out for almost the entire week.
Yeah,
not just Tuesday.
Yeah.
They did not do the Schmoedown Star Wars match last week.
Right.
So that means this week, because there is still a timetable that they're working off of, they're going to have to do the one from last week this week.
So they're doubling up.
And the one that would be playing this week.
Doubling up.
That is going to be tomorrow night. So what that means for us, who have decided to live stream our reactions...
We're going to be pulling a late one.
There's going to be a doubleheader.
We hope you're here for it.
So we will be reacting to both Star Wars matches tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We will be watching it off Twitch. We will be doing a live stream. You will be able to make comments, and we can react to them. That's how live this is going to be. It's kind of a lot like what we're doing right now.
I'm amazed by the tangents that you end up on sometimes. It's just a
How
glorious
my mind is like a honeycomb. It has lots of holes.
that has since lost its colony of bees, fallen to the ground, and been rotting for a little bit.
You know what? I'm about to say a curse word on our channel.
Anyway,
Double
Garth. Hey, can we time Garth out?
Yes, no. That's that magical mind right there.
Let's see. Click. Put user in timeout.
No, don't put him in timeout. That's the magical mind at work. I love to see it. Brings a smile to my face, and we all need that right now.
Anyway, so the Star Wars matches are going to be fire this week. You got Drew DiMolanta versus Scrimshaw.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Scrimshaw is a force to be reckoned with in the Star Wars division. If it weren't for the fact that Alex Damon exists, Scrimshaw would have had the Star Wars belt already.
Mm-hmm.
And then DiMolanta he's on a warpath. He wants that belt. He wants to be the one to take out Alex Damon. He wants that so bad. He has been working very hard, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him. Well, he's probably not going to KO Scrimshaw because Scrimshaw is really good, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him pretty well dominate that match. I think he has been. I mean, he's just been working hard. He's just been working real hard. On top of that, because it's not just his own Schmoedown career that's at risk here because he's had just a few losses already. He's got to keep the momentum going for the Finstock Exchange. Otherwise, the Finstock Exchange is going to lose that number one position in the rankings. So it's going to be on him to perform well tomorrow. It's a big feat. He's got a lot to lose in that match. On the flip side, Scrimshaw's got to win because the Mercs need some points.
Yeah. So real quick to interject. By the way, y'all, it is 11:30. We're gonna run a little bit longer, but we started later, so that's expected. We want to give y'all the full 2-hour experience. So.
Nice.
Feel free to continue donating to a really good cause, and we'll continue talking Schmoedown and movies.
And we'll continue saying nice. Yeah, I still got to eat tonight too, so no worries.
I don't have to do anything tomorrow, so I mean I'm good, except for the Star Wars reaction live
later. Yeah,
but that's much later. Yeah.
Anyway,
I am losing my voice again.
Yeah, the other match that's going to be going down tomorrow is Adam Witt, who we saw pull that wonderful 5-pointer in that match against Sean Sullivan.
Chiari Mundi?
Dalte Dauphine.
Oh, yeah. No, that was Kia Mundi. Yeah.
Just to be clear, I didn't completely get that, but I did mention Dalte Dauphine as one of the possible answers to that question. So I'd like to say that he got it, and so did I.
Yeah, because we knew it wasn't Newt Gunray.
It wasn't Newt Gunray, and it could have been Rune Heiko. I'm just saying.
By the way, y'all have reached the deeply nerdy point of this.
Hi, my name is Chris Adams, and I know my Nemodians.
Anyway.
Nemoidians.
Anyway, he's going up against Molly Damon, which, if the last name sounds familiar, it's because she's Alex Damon's wife. And she helps him study.
I was like, wife or girlfriend? Wait,
Wife.
Same last name.
Yeah, that's... Anyway. This stream's been going on for a while. He's losing it.
I've had very little sleep the past couple of nights, but that's a side matter.
That's going to be a fun match. First of all, Adam Witt keeps things fun. I love Adam Witt. That's a definition of a good dude right there.
Yeah, both the movie guys.
Especially because we've had conversations with them anytime we've gone out to LA, and they're just a load of fun to talk to.
I especially loved it when I was talking to him, and to his face I called him and Paul the action guys, and he's like,
"Why would you do that? Get off my stream."
It was after
disrespectful.
In my defense, it was after the draft. I had a couple of beers running off of a plane,
and no food,
and they had no food.
ate.
Anyone who was at the draft knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, but yes, I absolutely love those guys.
Garth brings up a really, unfortunately, great point. Not only is it 2 matches, but if they stay even and don't miss questions, either match could, or both could go into sudden death. So we got a long stream tomorrow. Get ready for that. Yeah, strap in.
Oh no, I'm not off on Thursday, but I don't have to be at work till much later.
You're gonna be tired either way. It doesn't matter. You're gonna be tired.
I mean,
it's fun.
I'm off of very little sleep right now.
Brisket for the brisket.
Wait, we've got brisket?
No.
By the way, y'all, in case you don't know, we're in Texas. You don't say things like that unless you actually are ready to deliver.
Or your Buc-ee's. That's their.
That
was their billboard.
Buc-ee's is a very popular travel convenience stop.
Just look it up.
We love Buc-ee's here.
They're not sponsoring. We don't have time to talk about this.
Dude,
Anyway.
could you imagine what we could do with a sponsorship from Buc-ee's?
A lot of beaver nuggets.
Go get their sausage, yo.
A lot of things just happened there. Anyway,
Beaver nuggets.
Star Wars matches are looking pretty good. Those things are delicious too.
Yeah.
Star Wars matches are looking really good this week. I'm excited for the stream tomorrow. I'm excited to play along and miss call signs left and right.
I'm excited for the stream tomorrow just because it means I had a good night's sleep in the meantime.
So hopefully. The other thing that has been starting up is the Inner Geekdom tournament. We've had the play-in match last week. That was Ben Goddard versus Jim Vevita.
That was a good match.
That was a good match. It shows that Jim Vevita can do Inner Geekdom. He just needs a little bit more time to study some of the topics. Ben Goddard, on the other hand, dude has had his 4th win, not counting. Well, no, his 4th win. He's had his 4th win within the league in 3 divisions. He is on track right now for Rookie of the Year. It can't be understated. Now, he's definitely got to go up against the likes of Barbarian and Robert Parker, but he's on the right track right now. If he beats Robert Parker, ooh.
You just pretty much secured Rookie of the Year right there.
Nearly. He's still got to face up against Barbarian, too.
So
that match still definitely has to happen at some point.
So here's the thing. Outside of... Why are we choppy? Maybe our internet. Outside of the Schmoedown, we'll bring this back up, that Ben Goddard did a 12-hour live stream also for Breonna Taylor, the same as we're doing, and he managed to raise like over $11,000 for that. That should be Rookie of the Year right there as is.
Yeah, he earned Rookie of the Year through doing that stream. Not necessarily Schmoedown related, but the community was born out of the Schmoedown, so that is something to be said. Real quick, speaking of donations, let's touch on these real quick. Garth McMurray dropped in a donation, said, "Sorry, I can't donate more tonight. I hope that you can raise more this week." Garth, any amount is helpful. Anything that you can donate, you jumped in there, you gave. That's all that matters. You are a part of the change. You are a part of helping out here. So we thank you for that donation. That's good stuff. It's good stuff. JJ Winward once again jumping in with another donation. JJ Winward
he loves those 69s.
He is being very generous.
And who
tonight.
could blame him? I mean, seriously, at this point,
dropping in that $1.69. Who is your favorite Star Wars side character and why is it Watto? I feel like I've heard this question before. I feel like this question was asked.
What? Why do you keep waving your hand? Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. I'm a Todarian.
That's actually not bad.
Here's the thing.
You may have won the small toss outsider, but you have not won the race.
Oh. For those of you who have been watching and following it, we've started the tagline at the very beginning of March.
Yeah.
This was a live stream show we planned at the beginning of March. That's where we're going to do it. Beginning of March, pandemic. And pretty much almost ever since then, I've been dealing with some kind of it's not COVID. I'll put that out there. But some kind of respiratory. I'm still dealing with that stupid effing cough ever since.
That stupid coughing cough.
The coughing cough.
Coughing.
Ever since coughing. Pokemon. Ever since, what was it, April for the most part. It was pretty much the entire month of April. I was pretty much out. I'm still dealing with that cough right now. Anyways, that's a side point.
Jake Iacovetta with the 2069.
See, that's right. Because 2069 sounds good. It also sounds really tiring.
It also sounds a long way away from this year, 2020, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Are you saying 2060? Oh my gosh.
So he just donated without asking a question. Jake, if you would like to ask a personal question of us, your chair is still fine. So thank you for
It's
asking.
currently being used for storage.
Or Lola's like sleeping pad at night. My cat, in case y'all didn't know.
Yes, the cat.
So going back to JJ Wentworth, who's your favorite Star Wars side character and why is it Watto?
It's not Watto.
It's not Watto.
Who? Favorite Star Wars side character?
Here's the thing.
I really got to get into some more of the Schmoedown stuff, but
Here's the thing. Think back to when we collected the toys. Because that kind of really helps you. Because they made a toy of every freaking side character known to man.
I got it. I know who it is.
Mine, I will have to say.
I swear if it's the same one, I'm going to be upset.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because mine has a personal connection.
Okay.
I remember mine when I was a kid and I first saw A New Hope. When they go to Mos Eisley.
What's a good Watto impersonation than going into a General Grievous impersonation? He's not wrong.
Kenobi!
Hello there.
Oh, hello there.
All right, late to the party.
Anyways, wait, they're on here?
No,
Oh,
just hello there.
yeah.
Anyway,
Mine was when I was a kid and I watched them go to Mos Eisley in A New Hope, and when they first walk in, there's a scene where they start showing all the different aliens. Mm-hmm. One of the aliens was this super spooky, like werewolf looking thing. Scared the crap out of me.
Was he cut out of later special editions?
Yes, he was.
Oh, that sucks.
That was Lax Sivrak. Because
right.
they made an action figure of him. And when I saw that they made a figure of him, I'm like, I'm going to go get this figure. I'm going to hang him on my wall. And every night I'm going to be like, that's right, B word. I've conquered you. You are now on my wall. I am no longer scared of you. And I absolutely love that figure. I love that character. Just because they stuck a straight up scary butt Wolfman.
Scary butt.
I can't say scary on this channel. They put a scary butt Wolfman in there, and that was probably like
Just say scary.
I gotta emphasize that it was really scary.
Okay, just say really scary.
I've watched American Werewolf in London, and those are very scary looking werewolves. Even nowadays,
Sure.
the effects done on those werewolves, fantastic. But I would probably have to say that's my favorite side character.
I'm gonna go with Bosk. Oh, are we talking about just movies? Because if we're talking about animation too, then I pick Cad Bane. Either way, I'm picking a bounty hunter.
Why Bosk?
Because he's a creepy crocodile man.
But he doesn't do anything except stand there.
Yeah, but also if you watch like Clone Wars, he has lines and he actually does stuff and says things. So
Although I say he just stands there. When I just mentioned the character that all he does is pretty much hold like a coffee mug and like he coos like an owl.
Sure, but not even in the
it.
movies anymore.
And he's not even in the freaking movie anymore.
So shut your face.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of characters within the canteen of Muftak, Kabe. I remember getting those figures.
Don't talk about Muftak on our channel.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so the Inner Geekdom and Schmoedown has kicked off. We got this week. It's actually public on YouTube today. Not really going to do the spoilers on it yet. I think I want to respect their 24-hour ban on them, so you can't talk about it till tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But public on YouTube today was the other play-in match of Greg Alba versus Warfather.
Mm-hmm.
Both those guys are just entertaining. I love Greg Alba. I love the Real Rejects. I've been watching them since before we even got a channel ourselves. So they're two really good dudes. I'm glad I even got to share a few words with Greg at the draft too. So that was kind of like I'm meeting my heroes kind of a moment.
Here's the thing, and I know I keep harping on this and mentioning it, but I mean, here's the thing. I'm a huge fan of the Schmoedown.
No.
Go figure.
What?
Love the Schmoedown. No. I do mention a lot the fact that I've played on the Schmoedown.
No.
I know.
What? No.
Oh, you were there too. Stop it.
I was on the couch reacting to you while you were there.
Good pull. But when they played the episode I was in, the cutscene at the end was the introduction of Warfather. So weird. It may sound a little weird, but I've always felt like I had like a connection to Warfather in that both of us first appeared officially in a Schmoedown episode.
You said that to him at the draft too.
I said that to him. So what was funny is when I first talked to him, and I guess he didn't know that, which is weird because I mean I've watched my episode like a couple of times.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the rest of your episode.
He was just at the cut. I guess he may have rewatched it, but just went straight to the cut scene. I guess.
I don't know.
But when I've talked to him, he originally was in his Warfather character, and then when I told him who I was and the connection, he's like, "Oh!" And he dropped back to Eric Barnes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warfather has a real name.
Wait, no, he doesn't. His name's Warfather.
They say his Twitter name on there.
His Twitter handle's
Eric W. Barnes.
At Eric W. Barnes. W stands for Warfather, by the way.
It probably does.
Eric Warfather Barnes.
But like, yeah, once I told him that connection, he dropped the character, and like we actually had a pretty good conversation. I loved it.
Yeah, both those guys are great though.
Mm-hmm.
Again, don't want to get the spoilers. It's a really good match. If you haven't gotten the opportunity to watch it yet, highly recommend it. Fun playing match, but.
What, Garth Muftak, really?
Muftak is what you have to.
God, there's a reason I didn't finish reading that.
Hey, all right. Brian Nussbaum says he loves Greg's nickname in the Schmoedown.
Yeah, that was really good.
I love Christians. Of course, he wants me to read this. Greg.
Yeah, when Christian was like, of course he wants me to say this name.
Yeah. I think we got a lot of fun stuff. I mean, we got a lot of fun stuff heading the Intergeekdom. We still have to record our reaction to Barbarian versus Slavic.
Yes.
So that's forthcoming. It's a packed week. It's a packed week.
Yeah. So we're probably going to record that tomorrow night.
By the way, if anybody has any more questions, get them in right now because we're going to be wrapping this up here pretty soon.
Yeah. Get the questions in. Send in the Streamlabs donations.
Anything you want to do tonight.
So again, anything you send into Streamlabs is going to be partnered with what we get tomorrow night when we do our Star Wars reactions.
And again, we're going to keep the Streamlabs donations going for the rest of this week too, up until Friday. So anytime you want to give to something into our Streamlabs this week, up until I'll go 11:59 p.m. Central Time Friday night.
Here's the thing: we didn't think of this, and it just now hit me that this Friday we have the Brandon Hanna versus Saul Intergeekdom match.
Mm-hmm.
It might be nice to mention that on there, possibly. Feel free to disagree with me in real time if that's okay.
That's fine if you can get it up that night.
And that's the thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to edit and get it up that night.
Yeah. The other side of that is we could just do the Brandon Hanna versus Saul live streamed also, but I don't know if I want to try to work around a schedule to try to figure that one out.
That's actually not a bad idea though. We will talk about that off camera. Be
Watching
prepared.
Things happen in real time.
Be prepared because I don't think that's a bad idea, and that's going to be a really good match, especially given how heated the social media trash talking has been on that.
Parties asks, why does YouTube take the percentage of the super chats? I've always wondered this.
Because YouTube is a business.
It's a corporation.
Yeah. YouTube wants to make money. They host billions upon billions of videos. When we upload a video, it sits on someone's server. It's not ours. We don't own that video anymore.
Well, somewhat.
But I mean, I have maybe a copy of the video on a hard drive here, but
yeah.
YouTube also has a copy of that video. That's why YouTube takes a...
YouTube as a business that hosts creators likes to make money off its creators. I get it. I understand it. I'm actually okay with it. I'm just, yeah, I'm not. I get it. I understand it. I'm just not for the amount that they're taking. But that's beside the point.
I'm completely okay. And here's the thing. Like, I understand. I'm a big fan of, like, reading and studying business without actually going to business college. I understand. YouTube takes a percentage. That's cool. I don't know exactly how they arrive at that percentage, but it's not like I have any say-so on it right now anyway. So.
Sure. Anyway, that's what you're...
Maybe when I become PewDiePie, maybe I can have some say-so on it.
PewDiePie! No, that's what you're...
Mr. Beast.
Yeah, that's...
Rhett and Link.
This is exactly what you're all sticking around on this video to hear. Anyway.
Us mention other YouTubers.
So, we'll see.
Freaking Garth.
Yeah, maybe we might do that Hannah versus Saul as a live stream. It could be fun. It could be fun because that's such a big one.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. Either way, though, till 11:59 p.m. on Friday, we'll have our Streamlabs open for donations going to the GoFundMe in Breonna Taylor's name. That's what we're doing all this week. So anytime you feel free, you get paid at some point this week, and you're like, now I have some money I want to donate. It's going to be there ready for you.
So please join us tomorrow night as we do a live reaction to Star Wars, so you can hear us talk about Lax Sivrak and Muftak in real time.
That already happened tonight.
Oh, if you want to hear it again and actually throw some money at the Muftak.
Oh gosh. JJ Winward once again been very generous tonight. Donated another $4.89. He said, for the children, $4.89 is $4.20 plus $69. Math is fun. It is fun.
I didn't realize there was going to be some math involved with our donations tonight.
He did it for us. I'm okay with it.
That's fantastic.
So that brings us up to right now for tonight. Brings us up to 128.27. So if anyone wants to round that up to make it a 69, I'm not going to argue it.
A 69. So if someone would like to round that up to $6,969.69, feel free to round up to that.
Ben Goddard, if you ever see this, look what you've done. Look at the havoc you've caused. Anyway, this is going to a good... Just like the Ben Goddard stream, just a bunch of immature people just trying to do the right thing. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we're going to go ahead and... Call it for the night. I'm not seeing any other questions here. Other things that we want to plug real quick before we do, though. We haven't made a social media post about this yet, but if you hop on at the $10 tier on our Patreon, we will be doing a movie watch along this month. I think right now we're looking at trying to aim it for the 20th. We want to make sure we confirm that. We will be watching...
The Stuff.
The Stuff. I'm trying to make sure I wasn't calling it the Stuffed.
You've heard us talking about this movie mainly from me, and it's been in regards to trying to get this one who doesn't like horror movies to watch it.
I'm not into this, by the way.
So, essentially,
you're gonna watch me squirm.
It's okay. Essentially,
I like marshmallow fluff.
I feel like I've partnered with Tim Franco on this to get you to watch this.
Y'all bullied me into watching it.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Whatever your nickname is in the tank.
Yeah. So yes, we're gonna do our Patreon watch along. We did Iron Man last month. If you're at the $10 Patreon tier, I was gonna say or higher.
There's no higher yet.
Yeah. If you're at the $10 Patreon tier, you can watch our Iron Man watch along. That was a lot of fun. Now, here's the thing. That one we've both seen that movie multiple times.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun just talking about the movie while it played, while everyone else, those of y'all who watched us watching it, we just had a good time talking about that movie while enjoying it all together. This one is going to be slightly a bit different in that you've never seen this. So this is going to be, we are essentially watching this movie this time.
And I will never watch it again after this.
I could see why. But this is a really good, cheesy B horror movie. It is very quotable. A very, very quotable movie.
I'm going to give you an insight as to why I'm wanting to do this. Because I want to hang out with Tim Franco.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Like, when Tim Franco said that he's into melt movies, which is a very small subgenre of horror,
that is exactly what it sounds like.
The Stuff is barely in the melt genre, but I would call it that.
Sure.
This is going to be a good watch along. I am thoroughly excited to do this.
Garth says, "Are you going to eat fluffernutters while watching it?"
Here's the thing. I actually was contemplating that. Let's get some marshmallow fluff. Let's make some fluffernutter.
Is that this marshmallow fluff and peanut butter?
Yeah. Let's make some fluffernutter sandwiches.
Can you do marshmallow fluff, peanut butter, and Nutella? Which is a lot. but then grilled cheese it.
We're not going to be able to grill while we're doing a watch along.
No, we'd have to do it right before.
I guess, but I
want
mean,
grilled fluffernutter.
So here's the other thing: this movie is endlessly quotable, and yeah, you'll get it when you watch
I
it.
gotta be honest, I've never heard of this movie before this conversation.
Everybody has to eat shaving cream at some point. Okay, just saying that.
That's not true.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Okay.
That because of how like quotable this movie is, we kind of wanted to turn this into kind of a drinking game.
Oh yeah.
Almost, especially the lead character of Mo. That every time he pretty much says who he is, like introduces himself to someone, he says a key phrase, and I think that would be very appropriate to take a drink or a shot every time he does that.
Yeah. So basically, guys, if you want to watch us get silly in a live watch along,
This is gonna be a silly movie to do that too.
The Stuff with Tim Franco taking a drink or a shot or whatever anytime something happens.
Taking a fluffernutter.
Taking a fluffernutter. Maybe not. That's gonna be an entertaining. That's gonna be an entertaining video. Like I'm down for it. Movie aside, don't really care, but
Just the idea behind it is going to be fantastic.
because you're also watching me watch this movie for the first time, and if you've seen the movie, then maybe you are very interested in watching me, somebody who doesn't like horror movies at all.
If you've seen this
Watch
movie
the movie.
before, you're privy to the idea of what's about to go down.
Yeah. So $10 tier on Patreon. Get on that today. You will be ready in time for when we drop that. I'm guessing probably on the 20th, but we'll reconfirm the date on Twitter and all that later.
But yeah, it's going to be me, him, and Tim Franco. This is going to be a lot of fun, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm super eager for this. I'm more eager for this than I was Iron Man, and I love the MCU.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff. Patreon's up there. Jump on the tiers right for you. You don't have to do it this week. I know we're talking about the watch along right now. We would really rather right now, as far as like anybody who's got money to give to something, right now for this week, we want to push towards, if you've got that $10, just
put it towards a donation.
Drop it on the donation. Go ahead and give it towards Breonna Taylor's.
Not that I want to tell you how to spend your money, but
No, I mean we're just giving it out there as a suggestion. So that is open there. But other than that, you can find us here all the time on this channel.
You say you can find us here in our apartment.
In our apartment. I sleep right over there.
Yeah.
He sleeps over there.
Back over there.
And Kat sleeps wherever she wants.
Because she's a cat.
Because she's a cat.
Yeah.
Cats do that. Anyway, we got the Twitter handles, Instagram handles. Follow us there. Got all sorts of stuff. Doing all sorts of fun things. Hopefully we're getting some more movie trailers. I mean, obviously we had the Bill and Ted one, and we had Tenet a week or two ago.
Yeah, we had Tenet recently. Bill and Ted just dropped today. Go over there to our trailer reaction for that.
Yeah.
Check that out. Let us know what you thought of it. What do you think of the movie? What did you think of our reaction?
All that stuff.
All that fun stuff over there.
I'm going to check Streamlabs one more time. All right, no more donations tonight. Once again, guys, you can donate again tomorrow during our Star Wars doubleheader Schmoedown tournament reaction, whatever order those words go in. And then throughout the rest of this week. So we look forward to hanging out with you guys again tomorrow and just building that number up that we can give over to Brown Taylor's GoFundMe. It's every dollar matters, and it's just a great thing to be able to give. I'm just glad we get to be a part of that. So,
Yep.
Want to thank you guys for joining us tonight.
And hit the music.
Boom!
Thank y'all for joining us. It's been a lot of fun to be able to talk movies again, especially right now, given like the situation we're currently living in. Please join us again next week. Join us tomorrow night for our Star Wars reactions. Oh, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to see y'all again. Anyways, y'all have a great evening and good night.
See ya.